so many people do be cool and look smarter. They shouldn't even care about the looks in the air and the look instead. Hey everybody, sorry I'm late. Well, I'm not really too late, but maybe a little bit. Alrighty. Who's here? Hey, Jiminy. Hey, Becky's here. Becky's here with me.
Hi!
We got Jiminy Cricket, Juan Soto, Amy Lester, Rodwell, and Melissa Lester. Hey, how's it going, guys? Good to see everybody. Here, let's see. There we go. There we go. See my little icon, you know, in the corner there. Hey, Jiminy, if you want to jump in, I could give you a link. I'm only going to probably do this for an hour. See, I was in the middle of watching a movie. We just finished having some, Becky and I had some ramen. Niji-san ramen, and then we made it at home. And then we were watching Roller Boogie. It was a movie that, it's a movie with, what's her name? Roller Boogie. My mind just slipped. Linda Blair. That's it. Thanks, Becky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
Hey, thanks, Rodwell. Yeah, Street Fighter. I wanted to do a bunch of Street Fighter things, and then I just didn't have time. I actually did this drawing like about like a month or two ago, maybe 2 months ago, maybe 3. I don't know. I just haven't had time. I've been so busy working on other stuff, but. Here, let's see. Come on. Here we go. Okay. Okay, here we go. I'm going to get going here. You're this close to buying Clip Studio Pro for 40% off. That's right. I got to buy that. Oh, yeah. Hey, Jeff Potts is here too. Hey, Jeff, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, let me see here. Okay, here we go. See, I might as well work on her a little bit. I was gonna do some like random like actually this is just the this is not even the Clip Studio, or I call it the Photoshop file. It's Clip Studio Paint file. It's like a PSD file. That was just my PNG. Let's see, where is she? You know what's sad is I can't even remember the character's name. Thanks, Becky. Let's see. Okay. Where did I put that font? Man, that's so weird. Trying to find that Street Fighter one. Oh well. I was gonna start a new one anyway. If you can kind of see here, I got a little bit of a sketch going. I watched Thor: Love and Thunder last night. So while we were watching it, I was gonna kind of do like a sketch. I have to remember. Yeah, Love and Thunder. How many of you guys have seen that? How many here? Hey, Rodwell. No, usually, Rodwell, I stream around Mondays around 12 noon Pacific time. So Eastern time could be like, afternoon. But yeah, usually I do that. But I was busy doing a bunch of stuff. I do some errands. And I missed laundry day on my Saturday is usually laundry day, so I had to do it today. So okay, thanks, Amy. So the Street Fighter character's name is Ibuki. It sounds right to me. Ibuki. No, see, did I like Thor: Love and Thunder? Well, I can say I liked the beginning of it, and then it just kind of went downhill for me. But there's a lot of enjoyable moments, but yeah, there's some stuff I didn't like in it. I didn't like some of the social messaging cues in it. But even the story is a story. I mean, I talked with my brother about it, and we were kind of like talking about some missed opportunities on some things. But I did like, man, I love the beginning, how they had him. He's wearing like the 90s Thor outfit where he had the leather vest and like the ponytail and the boots. I also like the outfit he wore when he was battling, that cool looking metal armor. I can't even remember what his hair looked like. I think it was in a ponytail, right? Well, in the beginning, I know it was. Oh, here we go. There he is. Jiminy.
Hi, how you doing?
How's it going, man?
Pretty good.
Good,
Still trying to get over the trauma of seeing Thor: Love and Thunder. It's a horrible movie, Matt. Come on.
Didn't it have a good opening? Like where it looked like it could have been good, and then all of a sudden it just was like, wasn't the opening though fun?
Are you talking about when his daughter died? That part?
No, with the aliens. Oh, I forgot about that part. I was talking about the aliens.
That was
Remember the aliens?
It was so
with the
dumb.
bird alien guys?
It was so dumb. Come on,
Oh,
Matt.
that was the best.
Matt.
If they would have had more of that in the movie, it would have
No,
been like
Matt. No,
perfect.
Matt. Matt, you have to raise your standards. You can't. This is supposed to be a Thor movie, not a National Lampoon, Christmas
don't-
Vacation movie.
I never read Thor comics, so I don't know how to.
Oh, I never read a Thor comic, so this crappy movie about Thor is perfectly fine with me.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. I didn't like the movie. I thought it missed so many good opportunities, like cool stories. Like he should have been with the Guardians. I think he should have stuck with the Guardians. You know,
No.
it probably would have been better.
I was glad he left the Guardians because the Guardians were probably breathing a sigh of relief when that's why he took off so fast from that planet, leaving Thor behind. They're like, finally,
That was hilarious.
we don't have to worry about ruining our next movie.
He was like, say goodbye to the crew for me. I know they're, how hurting. They must be hurting. And she's like, let's move it.
Exactly. Even they knew how bad the character had gotten.
Oh, that's so funny, man. And then the screaming goes. See, that's the thing is like they didn't show. I like the alien guy that was his buddy in that one. They didn't show him hardly. Then the rock guy, they made him like.
Oh gosh.
That was messed up.
That was terrible.
And then, and then it just went south real quick. I was like, man.
Went south on the first 5 minutes.
I thought it was had some cool the costumes were cool, but
yeah, but the only good part about the movie was Christian Bale. I thought he was great as that character Gore. Is that his name?
Yeah, I think so.
The villain. If they had the other characters level up to what Christian Bale was doing, it would have been a good movie. But it was like having a great actor in a movie filled with clowns. It's like he couldn't carry the movie by himself.
Yeah,
his character was dead serious throughout the entire movie, and then everyone else is goofing around and cracking dumb jokes, and Thor's acting like a drunk frat guy. It's just
I think they were trying to emulate Guardians of the Galaxy too much.
You can't do, but they're not all treating all these characters like they're the same character is what's ruining the movies. Thor is not Guardians of the Galaxy. It's
you gotta blame the writer.
I blame the writer and the director because the director is the one who sets the tone.
And didn't he wrote it too? I think the director, didn't he?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So just blame him.
Yeah, he's the blame. Because that's like Thor Ragnarok. I actually enjoyed. That was actually the only Thor movie I saw besides this one. But I liked that one. But this one was just like, oh man.
Watch the other ones, Matt.
Yeah, I know the other ones seemed too boring for me. I was like, that's probably why.
They're better.
Because here's the thing. For me, I go Thor movie will never work because it's just a cheesy character, right? And then they actually. That's why I never seen it. Because I was like, it's just like. How are they gonna make a Thor and Odin and all that characters seems just kind of like I guess now it's like you're kind of like you accepted that world because the rest of the Marvel universe is like okay that's just the way it is but at first when it first came on I was like how are they gonna do this to make it believable but yeah no they just they butchered that. It's unfortunate because he's a good actor too, man. The Thor actor.
Oh yeah, Chris Hemsworth. Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, if you've seen his other movies, like the one, what's the one where he plays like a security agent? He's in, I think, India or somewhere, protecting this kid. It's an action movie. It came out maybe about 3 or 4 years ago. It's a great movie. It's so good. And if they had taken that level of acting and put it into these Thor movies, they'd be raking in money like crazy. People would love to see a Thor like that. Yeah,
he's like I said, he's a good actor and he has good comedic timing too. But they didn't write anything funny in this one. It was just kind of like, oh man.
Yeah.
But he's got that, like when he was doing the Van Damme splits. Oh man.
Oh gosh.
I love that.
Oh, yes.
It was so funny. I was like, I was crying and laughing at that.
Stop.
Oh, it's so funny.
Oh, no,
that was totally a Van Damme tribute too, man.
Yes, yeah, we know.
He's just like,
oh my gosh, it was so bad. It reminded me of like all the greatest moments of that movie, and oh my god. Oh,
those are the only saving points for that. Everything else, I was like, yeah. I just at first I thought this is probably going to be some fun, cool movie, and then I'm like, nope.
I'm trying to think of like where does it stand in terms of like the worst Marvel movies, and it's pretty much up there. It's the worst Marvel movies are probably, well, that's one of them. Thor: Love and Thunder, The Eternals, Captain Marvel. What else has come out? Top 5 worst. Iron Man.
Iron Man.
Iron Man 3.
I know I like all the Iron Mans.
One of the Iron Mans, I think it was 3. It was like it was pretty bad. I don't know. I'm sure it's something else. Top 5 worst ones. But this last Thor movie is definitely up there.
No, see, I like the Iron Man movies. Yeah.
I like the first one, and I liked half of the second one, because the first half of Iron Man 2 was played pretty straight, pretty seriously, and then the second half they had Sam Rockwell as the bad guy, and he's just like dancing around and acting goofy and stuff. And I don't like that type of goofy silliness in superhero movies, unless it's supposed to be a comedy, unless it's supposed to be a parody, like what was it, Mystery Men from back in the 90s. You know, unless it's
that was funny.
that was a great movie. It's hilarious, but it was supposed to be a parody of superhero movies. I mean, that kind of humor doesn't belong in a standard straight superhero movie. To me, anyway. I mean, I don't like it because I want to see superheroics. I want to see it played straight. That's why I love The Winter Soldier. That's my favorite Marvel movie because they didn't even waste time trying to make it funny. It was just, there was, I guess, some minor situational humor in it, but it was just played seriously. And I love movies like that. I wish they'd make more movies like that. But
yeah, I guess it depends for me, because I mean I don't mind. I like serious, but for instance, I like the Guardians of the Galaxy. It's more funny, but it has some serious moments in it.
Yeah, those movies were pretty good. So I thought the first one.
But yeah, you can't make everything the same. You can't make it all comedy with some. And
I think after they saw how well Guardians of the Galaxy worked, they just said, let's make all our movies like this. And
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, that was a big mistake. It's like,
yeah, man, especially with all the material. I mean, you can do so many cool like movies,
Yeah.
Without having.
It's like DC making all their movies like dark, like Batman. Superman's not Batman. It shouldn't be as dark as a Batman movie. There should be some tonal difference.
Yeah. Which movie? It's funny. I was talking to. I made a comment on someone's post on my Facebook about the Little Mermaid movie.
Oh yeah.
And man, I got like attacked like crazy. But it was like, but I got attacked by people who are like professionals in the industry, animation industry, and they were like threatening me physically and all that stuff. I was like,
of course they were. They are woke and they're broke.
Yeah, I was like, dude. And at first I thought, wait, you're just being like a troll and trying to be funny, right? Because what he's saying would sound so. He was like misspelling words and just sounding like a teenager. But he's like a 50-year-old dude. And I was like, dude, you're just trolling right now. You can't be serious, because it's just so stupid. The things you're saying are so dumb. You can't, because he was saying like everything. He was just saying, you're supporting white supremacy, and he was calling me like a white devil, and I'm like, what? I go, this guy's fake.
White devil.
Yeah, but then I'm like, I went to his page, and I'm like, this guy is really it's not a troll page. So I'm like, man, this guy's got some really mental problems.
Well,
seriously, and he was also a racist too, obviously.
Yeah.
So, but I just said, I go, you need Jesus, man,
Yeah.
And then he goes, black Jesus, not your white devil Jesus. And I go, And I was like, he's not white or black, man. He's Middle Eastern, you know?
Yep, exactly.
I was like, gosh, man. I don't know. It's just funny, though. But it was like, it got me mad at first, but then I was like,
yeah.
Then I'm like, you know what? And then finally, one person was like, you know, this one girl from Detroit was like, you know what? I can kind of partially see your point that I was trying to make, you know?
Right, yeah.
And she goes, you know, that if she goes, that the person's culture and matters in the story, because it's a Danish tale, right? It's from Denmark, the tale. And so, like I was saying about the change, I go, she goes, if it's in a different setting, like the ocean's huge, it could be somewhere else. And I go, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like the Karate Kid. They made the Karate Kid with Jaden Smith, right?
Right, yeah.
But they didn't make put him in an Italian family in the same exact Encino, California, same exact
exactly.
movie. They changed the story to fit the character, right?
Yeah.
So I said, that's what I'm cool with. But they based it off of the Karate Kid, and you learn Kung Fu, not karate. You learn Kung Fu in China.
Yeah.
So I didn't see like the whole movie because, you know, it seemed like a kid's movie, so I kind of wasn't into it. Even though I love Karate Kid, Karate Kid was more like teenagers back in the first one. It was more,
yeah. I mean, it wasn't a kid's movie.
It seemed like he looked like he's 10 years old or something. So I'm like,
well, he is. He is. I was like,
yeah, that's what I was kind of like. I don't know if I can relate to a 10-year-old going through, you know, even though I am young at heart. I was like, I wasn't sure. I'm like, I don't know. Plus, I have an affinity for the original one. But I said this, hey, Jackie Chan's in it, and it's Kung Fu. It's a totally different. And then my brother's like, why didn't they call it the Kung Fu Kid? And I go, because that's the name they paid for, is the copyright name to use Karate Kid.
They want people to actually come see the movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, it has to be the Karate Kid. So, but that made sense to me because they made it based off the Karate Kid. Right, but it's like a different character. He's not Daniel LaRusso. He's a different character.
Right, you know? and that's the problem with the Little Mermaid live action film. You know, it's supposed to be a live action adaptation of the cartoon. Yeah, it's it's supposed to be Ariel. It's supposed to have all the characters from the cartoon, the original animated movie. And she obviously looks nothing like the character. So
and that's my point. Yeah, that's my point. I said, look, and just because you make that point, all of a sudden you're automatically a racist, right? And I'm like, that's what they say. You know, you're a racist. And I go, okay, I care about continuity. I care about staying faithful to the original character and story, right?
So if you want
to do, if you want to do something based off of that, it's a tale that's supposed to be based off. I mean, it's a Danish tale, an old book. You can do or whatever and make it that version.
I mean, those same people would be crying bloody murder if they made a live action adaptation of Disney's Princess and the Frog.
Yeah.
And it hired a blonde haired, blue eyed girl to play
Talia, is it Talia?
Yeah, Tiana.
Tiana, yeah.
Yeah, to play Tiana, and they set it in the same location, and the prince was played by, I don't know, Vanilla Ice. You know, you know, they'd be the first ones, crying, how they ruined the character, how they ruined the show because they didn't hire someone who was black to play, Princess Tiana.
Yeah, that's what I didn't use that comparison because I was trying to busy arguing about like my reasoning of why I was saying it. But then I was like, that's a really good one too. I was actually thinking about that, and I was like, I mean, if you want to make a story loosely based off of something, but if you just change a character and try to shoehorn him into that world,
right?
It just feels like what, you know?
Yeah.
But if it's like an Elseworlds type of thing, I love that type of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Like when they do Batman Elseworlds, I liked it because they don't change the original Batman, but they make a cool what if type of Batman story. And I'm like, I always love that type of stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm down with that, man.
I like it, but I still would not want to see a live action Elseworlds movie with a Batman who was played by Peter Dinklage.
Actually, I would like to see that.
Okay, that'd be cool. Okay, maybe. Okay,
I would be like, whoa.
Say Gary Coleman, then. You know, it's like I don't want to see, well-known popular characters played by people who look nothing like them. You know, I want if they hired someone blonde to play Superman, I'd be mad. You know,
You
it's
see-
like Superman's not blonde. You know.
See, speaking of which, that's another thing point. I didn't like the new James Bond because he was blonde too.
I didn't like him either. I called him James Blonde. I didn't.
Yeah,
like him at
James
all.
Bond. I was like, and then he looks like a limey, like he looks like a guy who'd be a bruiser in the backyard, like a bouncer or something.
He looked like a Russian hitman.
Yeah, he didn't look like Bond. So I was
Yeah.
like, I was never a fan of that Bond. I'm like, it's not Bond. And
Yeah, Me either.
and it's funny if people could be like, you know, because some people are saying like about the Jesus movie. They go, well, they didn't get a real Middle Eastern to play him. I go, yeah, but they made him look like he was Middle Eastern, right?
Yeah.
And
I
they
mean-
try to make him look like the character. I mean, well, you know, but they try to be faithful to it because I know a lot of people say, well, it's a fantasy story, and I'm like, yeah, it's not fantasy historical, but I said it's
Right.
fantasy, but you still want to maintain. This has already
Yeah.
been established, right? A Disney princess.
Visually, you want the characters to look like the source material.
Yeah.
But that's why, just like Christopher Reeve in the Superman movies back in the 70s,
Yeah.
he didn't have black hair. He's a redhead.
Yeah.
In real life, he was a ginger, but they colored his hair black to suit the character. Because
Yeah.
Superman's not a redhead, so you have to.
That's
you
what I
know,
mean. That's what I'm saying. That's the whole thing. My point. But they're so hung up on the narrative and they already have it just ingrained in them that
Exactly.
and so I was like, I go, dude, you're using those words, but they've almost lost all their meaning nowadays because they're so
Yes.
loosely used, you know.
Mhm.
And I said, I just kind of was saying about how I experienced racism on different levels of racism.
Mhm.
And like, I mean, I had kids throwing rocks at me and spitting on me from the school bus. I was walking to the school bus,
Yeah. Sorry about that,
And-
by the way.
and they called me. Yeah, they were.
I didn't
they
know
were-
it was you. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't know you back then, so.
They would spit up, but then I had to sit on the same bus with these kids, and they would call me, you dirty Arab, like Arab. Let's call it Arab instead of Arab, right?
You
Dirty
Arab?
Arab. Yeah, because I was like darker complexion, black hair, you know. And so they're like Arab and everything, and they're spitting on me, and I'm just a quiet kid, man. I was just like, and of course
You're
I
not.
and then I got in their face after that, obviously, but
They
then they
cut their
left
heads
me
off?
alone. Yeah, I put her on the front of the bus, like the hood ornament.
After I blew up their car, then they stopped bothering me.
You know, the boss went, "Come away." No, but yeah, I just basically, God was watching over me because they were throwing rocks at me, and I was kind of walking, looking down at the ground. I seen rocks like falling by my feet, rolling,
Yeah.
and I was like, "What is that?" And I looked up, and they were throwing rocks at me, like the whole bus stop, like everyone, all these kids are waiting, they're throwing. While I'm walking towards them, they're throwing rocks at me, and that man's just like, I was like white hot fire burning, and I start running straight towards them when they're throwing rocks at me, and I got right into one kid's face, and I go, "Is that all you? The tallest one?" I go, "Is that all you can do is throw rocks?" You know. And then he looked like freaked out because I was just I'm the tiniest runt,
Yeah.
and this one
Right.
kid's like, "Yeah, let's see blood."
Yeah, you probably thought you had a suicide vest on. That's why.
Oh,
He's like, this guy's crazy. Well, you ran right towards him, going.
yeah. No, I was throwing. I threw my lunch and I threw my burritos and taco them.
It's a bomb! Run!
Six. I'm half Mexican. No, but it's like I dealt with that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's funny. It's like they're all white kids. But also I dealt with other kids from other nationalities treating me like crap because I wasn't dark enough, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, to me, it was all the same. There's no difference in how you felt. It felt the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like, but the thing is like, as an adult, I grew up not being bitter towards people because of how they acted. I just realized those people are stupid, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, I just had to deal with that like constantly. And if it wasn't for that racist type of thing, it was just because I was the new kid and I was treated like, you know, crap. But I just learned how to deal with it.
Yeah.
You know? And but I didn't hate the world, and I was like, everything, white supremacy everywhere, and you know? I'm like, come on, man. But yeah, it's just that type of thing is like we used to be able to discuss movies and why we didn't like this actor playing this role or that role or
Yeah.
you know, and now everything's become so like because of the media and everything just getting people polarized, you know, against each other. And it's like even in the nerd culture it's all of a sudden becoming like hostile. But yeah, it's just like, but it's funny is I think a lot of people are waking up to the nonsense, you know, and a lot of people, you know, they're coming around.
People in general are willing to put up with a certain amount of stupidity, but after a certain point, they're even if they don't say it out loud, inside they're thinking, okay, that's enough.
Yeah,
that's enough of that.
That's enough of that.
BS. It's like, you know, we've been patient with your nonsense for a couple of years, but now it's time to start acting like adults. So.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying is like, but there's some people, like I said, man, that guy was in his 50s. He was losing his mind. He was like willing to throw his whole life away just to get at me. And I'm like, wow, you didn't even know me, you know? Like if he met me at a convention, he'd probably like me and get along with me.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking about stuff and going, hey, yeah. And it was like on there, he's like foaming at the mouth. I could just see him like foaming and being like, faces all veins in his neck. He's like, ah! You know, I'm like, relax, dude, man, what the heck? Like, part of me, like, couldn't really believe that someone would be acting that way just to a total stranger, you know?
Yeah.
And I just know what I said, though. I just go, dude, you must have just really lived a sheltered life, you know? Because to get that mad over a movie about a Little Mermaid, I mean, and you're thinking that's like, you know, that's like the bane of like, you know, prejudice all over the world. I'm like, you've had a cookie cutter cream cherry coated life, man. It's like, that's why I was talking to you about how the experiences I had. I'm like, it's like, that's ridiculous, man. Someone said they don't like something in a movie. Oh yeah, whatever. Just because you don't like Iron Man 2 and 3, that's fine with me. You hate her.
Just because I'm right and you're wrong, Matt, doesn't mean anything.
It's white supremacy. Oh man.
Yeah, I think people just like they kind of they get off on conflict, so they like making it up if it doesn't already exist.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like mountains out in molehills just to get the sort of adrenaline rush out of it, because they spend all their time indoors instead of actually interacting with real people. So it's like, oh, this will be my excitement for the day. I'll troll Matt Costin because he says something that can sort of contrive to be politically incorrect.
Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, man. I don't know. I didn't. Part of me just felt like bowing out of that whole thing because I'm like, oh man, I don't have to deal with this. But I'm like, I can't let it stand now because it's on a friend's page, and I can't let it stand that someone's insinuating, accusing me of that. So I gotta just make sure I walk in love because I don't want to go, you know, lose it on somebody. It's funny is I don't do that. I may get mad, but I'm like,
what you're supposed to do, Matt, is when that happens, you let all of your friends know, and we can come in and we can just pig pile on the guy. All of a sudden there'll be like 20 people who are saying the exact same things as you, and he can't respond to all of us. So then he'll start crying and run away.
Yeah. Or then he'll strap on a vest.
He'll just blow himself up. That's the internet.
Yeah, man. I'm like, but it's funny. Is it on the web? I've gotten into different like arguments with people, and no matter how calm I am, no matter how much I don't curse them out or call names.
Yeah.
I can get people so they're so mad that they're just like losing their minds, and I'm like, and then it's funny as the person before me was just saying all these horrible things, cursing everything, and the people doesn't even faze them. But me, I'll just talk calmly and just start listing out my stance on it. They're like, ah.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, man.
It's funny.
I was being soft. But no, I actually mostly tend to veer away from the arguments with people, because most people on my page are all my friends, and the guy who was commenting on it was my friend. You know, it wasn't. But then this guy just jumped in.
Now this is originally on your page that you were saying this on Facebook?
No, this was on my friend's page.
On your friend's page, okay, gotcha.
And I was just talking because I made a sad emoji on his thing, on the Little Mermaid post, and then so he tagged me and said, "Why is it the sad emoji?" And so I just said, I listed why, and then
because she's black.
Yeah, and then because it's funny because I listed it why, and then he was just like, he kind of started insinuating, seems like you only have a problem with the darker skinned actors playing, you know, and I go, yeah, I guess because I'm total racist. And then I said, that's why I'm friends with you. And then he's like, stop trying to sidestep. And I'm like, that's the thing is like, I'm like, you know, you're kind of insinuating I'm a racist, but like, you know me for how many years, and you know I'm not a racist. So why would you even try to insinuate that, right?
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, but it's like you're not even. This is what I don't get. Is like if you know somebody, then you just throw away all the information you have on that person that you know, and just like all of a sudden they're a random stranger, and you just read in all the negative things into them, what they say. It's like you take it with context of who they are, and you know, just like you guys do. You know me, so you're automatically, oh, that's Matt. You know, he's gonna start saying something about the government or something, right? And so like you're already kind of like, oh yeah, we kind of know Matt's stance, you know.
Yeah.
And you would think people would be like that, but they're not. They're just like, and I don't even really think that they believe that you're racist if they insinuate that, even because it's like, I think it's like I don't know if they do it just to put on airs or something.
They're posing for the people who are seeing these comments.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that's what I feel like. And for me, I'm like, I don't give a care if the president of the United States. I don't care if anybody sees it.
Right.
I'm just gonna be me. This.
Yeah. Because I've had,
take it or leave it.
Because I've had friends unfriend me on Facebook who've known me for decades. Okay.
Yeah.
And you know, I'll comment. They'll post something nuts, you know, and I'll comment to it, and then they'll start attacking me. What one friend said, I think he called me a Nazi.
What?
Because I disagreed with him on, I'm not sure, it was either something about, it had to be something about Trump. And I didn't even disagree with him harshly. I just disagreed with him fairly lightly. And he said, "Well, that's because you're a Nazi." And he wasn't joking. I mean, because I know the guy, and he wasn't joking. And I was like, "You've known me since college, and I don't remember any black Nazis during World War II. So why would you say something so stupid?"
Yeah. That's why I'm like, are you people serious, or just joking around, or just trying to, you know what I mean? It's like, you can't be serious. It's like, you can't be that stupid.
And they're not, but they know that all of their left-wing friends are seeing these comments, and they have to put on a show for them to let them know that they are on the quote-unquote right side. Because these are people that they work with. I mean, I'm just some guy, some friend that he's had since college. I can't give him anything other than my friendship. You know, he's friends with coworkers. You know, people he's actively involved with in his current life, and if he shows himself to be even tolerant of anyone who goes against their socio-political brain, then he knows that it won't be good for him. And so, so he unfriended me when I responded to him. But that happens a lot. I mean, you have a lot of people who use social media and act in a way they probably wouldn't act if they were talking to you face to face.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, it's just like, it boggles my mind, man. I'm like, what in the world? Here, just a second. I'm gonna take this call.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
Hello.
Who are you talking to, Matt?
It's Mike.
Everybody wants to know. Share. Put it on speaker. Amy Lester says this new flow medium I got for my acrylics is interesting, but I'm having a hard time blending the edges of the swatch. What are you using to paint with, Amy? What type of brush? Are you using like a pan brush, or are you using a standard, pointed brush? If you change the brush, it might change your results. I'm just going from what I learned from Bob Ross. So don't take me as an expert. But yeah, I'm thinking about getting that new that new Clip Studio Pro for my computer, and I have to get it tonight by 8 a.m. tomorrow because then the sale ends. And it's 40% off, and I like saving money, so it'll be $130 down from, I think, what is the it's down from $219 normally, but I can get it for $129. So here, I'll put the link in the chat so you too can check it out and get it if you're interested. Clip Studio Pro and X on sale for 40% off until tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bink. There you go. So check it out. Yeah, as Amy said, it's going to go to subscription only in next year, the beginning of 2023. So I would get it now, and I probably am going to get it after this stream. And,
Good, get it.
40% off. So
You got to get it.
yeah, I'm just I'm gonna probably be bugging you a lot for since you are the Clip Studio Pro, literally, and find out exactly everything that I can do, or at least the things that you know it to do.
Yeah, I can let you. Yeah, just the, because there's so many things I'm still finding out, and I'm like, wow, things to make it more streamlined, And yeah. Here,
I know it can do animation and stuff. So
yeah, that's the thing. So I have to upgrade mine too. Here
what
we
do
go.
you have right now? You have Clip Studio Pro or Clip Studio EX?
I think it's it's not the highest one. It's the one right below it. The mid.
Okay, then go to that link I put in the chat.
Yeah.
And you have to do it by tomorrow morning.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I definitely want to get an upgrade because.
I think to upgrade it costs. I think it's $99 to upgrade it.
Yeah, because it's usually $160, right?
Yeah, to upgrade.
So that's not bad at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and again, it goes to subscription in January, I think. So.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, I like that. What's that? Who is that?
That's from Night of the Comet.
Okay, I thought it was Sarah Connor.
No, remember you ever seen that Night of the Comet?
I never saw it. No, you told me about it. So,
oh man, you got to see it. Like I said, it's on Tubi.
Oh right, yeah, I remember. Now, what tools did you use for this? For like the shading on her blouse?
I just used I downloaded a Japanese brush, watercolor brush. You can download ones if you go to their website. You can go to the opening page and there's all these links and everything. It has automatically going that you could go to, but it's called the I can't read the kanji, but it's called Yawa Burashi. It's a brush, so it's like Wara something brush.
So water brush.
But yeah, it's a watercolor. But look at how the effects you can get with it. Like, let me see if I do. Let's see. Yeah, if I do this type of thing, like you can like you can get darker if you push harder. Here, let me see.
Right. Yeah.
You can blend with it, But this is what I found out. I found someone did where they just used 3 different things. They use an eraser. They use like a solid brush. Like it's like, or a pen, like where I can just do solid lines like this,
Yeah.
And but then they use they go up to they have a blender. It's like a oil brush blender or something. And they blend all their different colors to get a nice soft look. So I got to figure out how to do that. I don't know if I have to download them or what. But I downloaded a bunch of Japanese ones. On the side here, you can see all the different Japanese text. And I was trying to see which one I liked best because I wanted to do one where it was a line where I could get like a nice sketchy line, you know.
Yeah.
So it looks kind of broken up, natural.
Yeah.
So I was downloading a bunch, and some I like more than others. And you can also adjust them too, you know.
Cool.
See, like if I, see, you kind of get a nice grainy look.
Yeah.
But that's not the one I use. This is the one I used for the line art.
Yeah.
I
Do you use a G pen or no?
No, I used another Japanese one I downloaded, and I can't even read the kanji.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, see, this is the pen. It's kind of like got a grain to it.
Yeah, because there's there's a G pen, and there's one that's called Real G pen. And the Real G pen has a grain with it.
Yeah, they got the G pens. Yeah, right here. See, look.
Yeah, that one has grain to it. If you zoom in, or you can make it bigger.
Yeah, you can see the grain. Yeah, this one I've never used that one. G pen right here. Yeah, see, it's more smooth.
Yeah.
And I don't have the I have the jitteriness on my pen, so it reacts like a real one. So because I could do the line kind of jittery, it doesn't straighten it.
Now, how do you make the line so that they're straighter, even if your hand is jittery?
Well, if you want like a smooth, like if you want to do like a nice smooth like curve, it's
like Mike Miller's inks.
Yeah, you can make it look like smooth. You just go to the brush settings, and then they have all these settings on the side, like
stabilization
and anti-aliasing. You can make it more rough, and some brushes have more options to them as well. But yeah, I don't want it to be a smooth line to begin with. So I'm kind of like, I like that rough look, and it looks more like a natural pen, which is why I'm like, I try to find those. And the Japanese make some really cool ones, but the one I'm trying to make that's tough for me to make is the one I call an anime pen, where just everything looks like the same like line width. So I tried to make one. See, I don't know if you can see it like right here. It's like the same line width no matter what pressure you use.
Right, yeah, like a ballpoint pen. Yeah.
Yeah, and I try to do that, and I actually sketched with it, and I do like it. I actually draw on like comic pages sometimes with this pen because it makes me not second guess myself. It's so final that I basically will just go in and just draw the figure with this, and it's like I'll draw like the hand, right? See, Ninja Turtle hand, or whatever. But then I'm drawing it.
Nightcrawler.
Yeah, and I already, and like, instead of like doing all the fancy pencil sketching, I just do straight up like just the contour lines.
Wow.
And then I have it mostly all done. The structure, you know, and then I can just go right in and make it look better. What I do is then I switch it to blue line. See, like that. You just push one button.
Oh, okay.
You just push the button. It says layer color, and then I can make it more opacity lighter, and then I can just make a new layer on top of it, and then just start inking on top with the better pens.
Dang, this looks more complex than Photoshop. Dagnabbit.
Yeah. That's what I was like surprised. I'm like, I go, man, look at this. I mean, you can just do so much, and it's already pre-made for comic pages too.
Right. Yes.
You know, and I haven't even figured it all out yet. But there's one Japanese artist where he can line up all of his pages like on the same window that he's doing a new page. You can see small thumbnails of how they look side by side, like if you open up the book. And I'm like, whoa! I think that's got to be the EX version. You know?
Yeah.
But see, I can just do that type of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you can sharpen it. Yeah, see it over top, and then you just get rid of your lines, and you got the nice smooth lines. Yeah, it's great, man. I'm still figuring things out. Like I said, the smooth line, the streamline things, because the one Japanese artist I follow, he does it in the clip. He was like instantaneously, like he'll draw something, duplicate it, flip it instantaneously, like, and I'm like, wait. There's no hotkey, and what I realize is because he has a camera on his keyboard, he has stickers where in kanji, like Japanese, where he just already has it pre-programmed to do certain, tasks. So if he wants to flip an image, he just pushes one key and it flips the image. Yeah, which is what I like about this. Like, see this one, I can flip it, see, so I can see how it looks, if it looks symmetrical or not.
Yeah.
She's riding here, but I can see how it looks, and then but it won't print that way. Even if I flip it and save it, it won't print that. It'll print the way it was. but you can actually, he has a button that pushes, you can flip it and it stays that way
Yeah.
if he wants to. But yeah, I gotta learn how to do this. So okay, this is the one I was working on. I wanted to do like just a daily sketch for my my website.
Yeah.
And I realized it takes too much time. I gotta work, so I can't even do like these quick sketches because it's like I started becoming too involving for me, and I'm like,
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
you may want to either stick with just line art or
Yeah.
just do really rough color sketches, because you get sucked into this black hole of perfection.
yeah,
You know?
yeah,
And also it's just time consuming to do black and white and color work. It just takes a lot of time. So
yeah. I try to do color sketch, and I think all I could do is do black and white, and then if I feel like later on doing a quick color on top at another
Right.
date,
yeah.
maybe I could do that. But
Because I mean, your black and white work is pretty amazing. So I don't think you need to. I don't
thanks.
think you need to worry about so much about doing finished painted illustrations every day for an exercise.
Yeah, I wanted to do. I was trying to come up with a theme for so I thought I could do like one black and white, one color, one black and white color. And I realized, nah.
You do Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
You do.
No, what?
You do race swap black characters.
I actually did that.
Do Black Panther, Falcon, and
I did the Black Panther as a white guy with long blonde dreadlocks,
Matt.
right? And I did it because I did it and I put it up and I made it look like a Marvel cover, right? And then I made it look like a Marvel advertisement.
And then you made popcorn and sat back and waited.
Yeah, actually, that's what I did. And then people are like, and I was like, can you believe Marvel is doing like a South African like Black Panther? And people were all like
South
outraged. They're all outraged, and everything. And then I was like, and then I let the cat out of the bag. No, actually, I just did this to see what their reactions would be, and nobody replied back.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Before everybody's like outraged, and then I go, it's fake. They're all like,
Marvel Studios burned to the ground today in a rage siege of
yeah. I was like, what happened? Like, oops,
a riot occurred at Marvel Studios this afternoon after people saw the new issue of Black Panther.
Yeah, I just was like, yeah, man, people. I was doing that because I'm like, and I wanted to try to see what people would say, and I did it. Remember on DeviantArt, and nobody. Oh, I did have some people going, "Why did you do that?" They were wondering why I would do that, And so I was telling them why, and they're like, and then they were not as like angry about it. They were just like just curious, and they were like, "Oh, okay." They go, "Why do you feel like that way?" And I'm like, I was telling them why. I go, "I have no problem with people." Characters, but I said I'm like a comic book guy where I like the characters I grew up with. I look like the characters I grew up with. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Maybe that's the nerd thing. I don't know. That's what I like. And I know it's funny. It's like you said. I know people are the same way as I am, but they're kind of like because of political correctness and everything. They're more apt to be vocal about certain things than they are others. Yeah. And but. It's funny. It's like I'm like, you know what? I don't care about taking the heat. I'll take the heat. Yeah. I don't try not to offend anybody, but I also kind of, for me, it's a test too to see where I stand with people. I guess too.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's like, man, some people if they know me, yeah, but also some people are terrified because, and I also felt a little bit bad when I commented on my friend's page because, to be fair, he's also an artist who works for a studio.
Right.
And I realized, you know what, I probably shouldn't get him too much into this because they watch your social media accounts.
Exactly.
And I did work for Warner Brothers, and they were like, they wanted my social media account, like pages.
I would never do that. If a company asked me for that, I would say no.
Yeah, well, no, what I did was I created a brand new page, right, so that when they got it, it was just like, yeah, it was brand new with no, because I was like, there's no way I could delete all the posts I made,
Yeah.
So I just made a brand new page, and then that page slowly became political, and I had to make it private again.
Matt couldn't control himself.
No, I'm like, dude, I got to say something.
I have a like on Twitter. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you're friends with me on Twitter. I started a new account with just my business on it, Illustration by Design.
Yeah.
I started it, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago, because before my I used my Twitter and I had that linked to things like LinkedIn and stuff,
Yeah.
like my LinkedIn account, and I realized it's like people are probably going to my Twitter to see what I'm posting, and on Twitter it's like I'm pretty open about how I feel about things.
Yeah.
So, and I also know just based on Twitter, that people will destroy you if they don't like your opinion, or actively try to hurt you.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's socially or in terms of business or whatever. So I finally made just a business Twitter account for myself where it's all the whole thing. I don't even like posts that are politically sensitive when I'm using that.
Yeah,
Because,
that's the same with me.
Because people can see what you've liked, what you click like on, or things that you have responded to. Even if it's not on your main feed, they can just check the other parts. So I just keep it purely about comics and my art. So if anyone goes to my Twitter account through LinkedIn or some other site, even my website. I mean, my website is linked to that Twitter account now, and my YouTube channel. So yeah, because I think it's, for me, I think it's better that way to sort of separate, because I want work. I want to separate my personal opinion from my opinions as an artist,
Yeah,
so to speak.
that's how I feel too, because I believe in what I believe strongly, and I'm not apologetic about it, but at the same time I realize there's people who don't think exactly the same way as me.
Mm-hmm. Right.
and they might not want to know or like my position, but they like me or my art. So I'm like, what? I want to be a little more gracious to them and be like, okay, I'm going to spare them from saying something. But that's why I have a personal page for it, because I'm like, I'll just keep it so it's just strictly art, and then they can enjoy my art. Yeah. And sometimes it's not easy, but like you said, I made a new Twitter, and this new Twitter is just nothing but art, comics, and film and everything. And I don't even like I'll see political stuff pop up on my page and I feed, but I don't comment or like or anything. I just look at it and I view it, and then that's it. And because I'm like, not that I'm ashamed of anything I believe, but I just go, sometimes people just want to get away from that type of stuff and look at your art. And I go, I just figured I'll just do that. And I think that's the best way to do it, personally.
Because for me, I know there's nothing more annoying than I have a ton of artists that I love, and going to their Twitter page and not seeing anything about art or comics, and it's all just like a screed about politics or social issues or whatever. It's like, that's not why I want to follow you. I want to follow you because you're a great artist. And if all you're offering the world on your page is anger and hatred towards people who don't agree with you, then why would I bother?
See, that's how I felt. Like I noticed that with some artists that I liked. I'm like, man, I don't even like coming to this guy's page. And then I started thinking, well, what about me? Like, how will people feel about me doing that if they don't agree with me, right? And so I'm like, I probably should not say on this. At least keep it dedicated to just strictly art and everything. And then I go, that way people don't have to, had to put up with what I didn't like putting up with either. I'm the same way. I didn't like that. I'm like, But
Bill Sienkiewicz friended me on Facebook. He wanted to be my friend on Facebook. I guess he saw some of my art, and I never responded because I knew.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he is like really hardcore.
Yeah, he's diehard. He's
like angry left. You know,
Yeah.
I think he chewed out his aunt on Twitter because she was Trump. You know, his aunt's like, you know, 30 years older than him, and he was chewing her out on Twitter because she liked Trump.
Wow.
And I was like, no, because I don't want to have to worry about everything I post on Facebook. You know,
No, yeah.
I only have you know, friends as Facebook friends. You know, when people I don't know, you know, want to friend me, I usually don't accept it because I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
So the people who I do friend, I sort of know their personalities, know what they're like, and I knew that I don't know Bill Sienkiewicz, but I know his personality. I know how he feels about certain things. I knew that I didn't want to have to deal with that stuff and argue with this guy whose artwork I love, you know, about politics all the time.
Yeah.
So I figured it's
Yeah.
like, it's better if we just stay sort of separate in terms of
Yeah.
in terms of.
I mean, because there's other avenues and outlets we could use to vent stuff, and yeah. I mean, I belong to some groups that I can do that, you know, and so I'm like, I'll just leave it there.
Yeah.
But about my page, my one page, I do keep it just private. I don't add in new friends because I don't want to make any new enemies. so I just keep it private.
Yeah.
But because I still get friend requests from there. But I'm like, hey, just follow me on Twitter or YouTube, and I'll still talk like right now, like how we're talking now.
Right.
That, I mean, to me, I'm like, that's just pretty soft in general. We're kind of keeping it, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, people can, like I said, for me at least, I can disagree with somebody's politics. I automatically assume everyone's politics is different than mine anyway, but I still get along with people, you know.
Well, they are. No one has the same politics, so
yeah. I don't know. I think some people it's a shock to them because they're like, I thought we all thought the same. And I'm like, no, because I've had some people do that, but they're like, well, you're an artist, you should think this way. I'm like, well,
yeah, right. Seriously.
I'm like, I'm an individual, man. I have a different my own mind and my own experiences.
Yeah.
And,
exactly.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Look at her. She's like doing that dance.
Go-go dancer. That's a great picture. I love it. Very good.
Oh, thanks.
Very streamlined.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out who to draw, and I'm thinking I'll just draw Catwoman. I haven't drawn her in a long time, but I'll do my version of Catwoman.
Have you thought about doing any animation with this?
I don't know how.
You don't know how. Mass.
I haven't learned that yet.
We watch anime, right?
Well, I mean, I don't know how to utilize this software for that. I don't even know if I can because I have like the lower end version. So
I think you can make animation
in
up
EX,
to a
right?
certain. I'm sorry.
You can only use EX version, right? Animation.
No, you can make animation with this with just a pro version, but I think
Really?
I think it's limited to a certain length. I think it can only be like a minute and a half long or something. I'm not sure. You'll have to check. But you can do animation, but it's limited in terms of it's either length or the number of frames you can have.
Oh, okay.
But no, because I'm looking at this and it's like it's perfect for animation. It's very clean, simplified, but I think it looks really cool if you did something animated. Who's that?
Yeah. Guess who's
Hello.
here?
Hey.
That's Cecil.
It's Mikey.
Mikey.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing? We've heard so much about you. I've never met you before.
Mikey.
I'm
Brother
trying to
talks
figure
about you
this
all the
out.
time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, talks about all the bar fights you've gotten into, all the people that you put in the hospital.
No, I stopped that a long time ago.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody, this is Mikey. This is my brother, Mikey. So if you're wondering,
Yeah.
he's a fellow artist. He actually colors a lot of my comic stuff too.
Awesome.
So, and
So
he's
how-
a Clip Studio guy.
Yeah, so you like Clip Studio Pro?
Yeah, to me it's affordable and easy to use, but if they start making it like a pay thing, like where you don't own it anymore,
Yeah.
kind of like Photoshop,
Yeah.
I'll probably just move on to something else, because
Yeah.
you know,
That's what people are saying.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's stupid on their part,
Well,
I I would rather than make you pay for anytime they have a new pack come out, like an upgrade pack.
Right.
I'd rather
yes.
just pay like 25, 35 bucks for that and keep getting updates. But I want to own the initial program that I buy. I don't want to like I'm renting it for an expensive amount up front.
Yeah. No, I agree. I that's why I'm considering buying it today, because they're offering it for 40% off until tomorrow morning. Or I guess this morning. Tomorrow morning for you guys. But it's and then after that they're going to, like you said, switch to a subscription version at the beginning of next year. So I figured this is my last chance to get it fairly cheap.
Yeah, I'm gonna be burning it onto some discs too, just in case anything happens.
Yeah, right, exactly. Seriously, in case they set up a virus to destroy everybody's version on their computer.
That's actually, I think a lot of these phone companies do stuff like that. Where they, make your phone deteriorate over time, and
Well, yeah, they already exposed that with Apple. That they were doing stuff like that.
Yeah, they planned obsolescence. That's what they call it.
Well, we all know Apple's evil, so.
Yeah. Well, every other phone company is doing it too now, because they've seen what they did and they go, oh, that's smart.
Right. Yeah. Same with Photoshop or Adobe. It's like, hey, they're getting suckers to pay monthly fees or to rent it. We should do the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, did you hear I watched a YouTube channel of this younger artist, and he said there was enough pushback because of that announcement to Clip Studio that they're actually they're starting to backpedal a little bit,
Oh, really?
Yeah, they said that they made a response saying, well, we're not charging everybody, they can still use their own versions and all that. And then it's like, but eventually they're going to have to all adapt to it. So that's why people are saying we're going to stick to this and say, hey, look, if you want to make it that way, then you're going to lose customers, and let's go to another software then.
Well, everybody is already, like the young people are already using Procreate, all the teenagers.
Oh, yeah.
That's the primary
all the youngsters, all the youngins.
Yep. Anybody under 25, it seems like they don't even use anything but Procreate.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they don't know how to draw on paper either.
yeah, man.
Excellent. It means more work for me.
They start crying like, I don't want to name names, but I've seen some, nice kids. They started crying when you asked them to
Lester
or something.
Melissa Lester, Amy Lester, Junkyard Dunn.
It shocked me though, because there's some people that are like, they're doing beautiful things that I'm like, I couldn't even dream of doing that at that age, let alone my age now. I still struggle with it. And
Me too.
And then I'm seeing these kids are like 17 years old cranking out this stuff, and then I seen that same kid. I was like, oh, he's seen me sketching, and he's like, I'll sketch too. And he didn't have his iPad, and he started drawing on paper, and he was like, he started actually like lip quivering. And I was like, what's going on here? I'm gonna draw.
Got nothing.
Yep.
Well, that's the thing. I think did I talk to you about that last time,
Your
Jason?
skills are weak. What?
I think they talked to you about that last time, where that guy was he was saying that he's a digital artist and he's only 19, but he said he couldn't draw on paper.
He couldn't draw on paper.
Yeah, like he tried to do a video where he drew on paper, and he just like, it looked like a 10-year-old did it, and he's
That's
just like
hilarious.
But his other art looked like
Tell
really
me his
professional.
Name. Tell me his name.
I can't remember.
Check him out. Find him on Twitter and let's see it right now.
Yeah, he was like, and so he did this whole thing. He did it pen, he did colors, and he just goes, I can't do it, man. He goes, some of the skills I can't transfer it to translate it to.
See,
I was just like,
I didn't know it'd be that bad. But
you're raising a generation of weak artists.
Yeah. Well, I even told him, I said, like my friends' kids are all iPad artists, and I told them, I said, you need to, do traditional media too, because I go, when you make mistakes, you have to figure out how to fix it instead of just scrapping the drawing. And I said the best part.
Don't tell them. Let them be weak. Let them destroy themselves.
No. I told him, you want to shine when everybody else is like the power out, and you're still able to complete the job.
Exactly. You want them to be helpless. So don't help them now because they're your future competition. You want them.
No. I want to be encouraging.
Yes.
Now we
But-
want an actual, like, we don't want the arts to be lost, man.
Well, the main thing is I noticed like all the improvements I got that were like the really extreme improvements was when I made mistakes and then I figured out how to fix them. But the cool part is sometimes you'd be like, you know, that mistake put me in a different direction than I would have went with this, and it actually made me learn something that improved my art. So I ended up incorporating. It didn't become a mistake anymore when you do it on purpose. It becomes your technique and style.
Yeah.
So I told him, I go, a lot of the styles that you're always complaining about, I don't have my own style, I don't have my style. I go, you're not developing a style because you just put Control Z, undo, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And you're not figuring out why something looks off to you, or you're just trying to copy what you've seen already exist.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
That's true.
Yeah, I always thought that. I always thought, like, hey, is that going to affect how people draw, just drawing on tablets, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, I don't know, because most everybody I know draws a tablet. They already start off drawing on paper. But we got this new gen where they just draw on tablets strictly. And so it's like now we're seeing how it does actually make an impact.
Matt, no. It's too small, Matt. Too small.
Huh?
Too small.
What are you talking about?
The way
What you just did.
What?
Too small. Too small. No. Not zoom in. Never mind. Mikey knows what I'm talking about, right, Mikey?
I wasn't actually looking at his.
Mikey.
What did he do?
He had the sketch of Catwoman, and then when he started working on her bosom, he drew the bosom smaller than the sketch. And I'm like, no. Just follow the sketch. Just follow the sketch, Matt. Follow the sketch.
Been more of a leg man.
Yeah. Catwoman's gotta be more. She's more svelte, you know.
Armor on nose. Come on, Matt. You remember what was his name? Ballant from the '90s when he was drawing Catwoman.
Oh, Jim Ballant.
Jim Ballant. Yeah. The spell has nothing to do with it. Whatever happened to him? He like disappeared off the map.
Yeah, I don't know.
He was huge like in the mid '90s, and then like once 21st century hit, he like I don't know went to the Twilight Zone. I haven't seen anything.
That's why, because right when it became like the 20s, all of a sudden he became like his life became endangered because he drew big-breasted women.
Adam Hughes is still around.
Yeah, that's true. Remember they attacked Frank Cho? Remember?
Oh, Frank Cho. He's such. What the cool thing is that he's quote unquote hitched them to his wagon, and he made them work for him. You know, he took that sort of attack, and he's made so much money with these sort of funny outrage illustrations that with superheroes. Like he has the Wonder Woman in bed with like everyone, and then he'll have like outrage like drawn written at the bottom. it's so
Really?
funny. Yeah. You follow him on Instagram? I
don't think I was following my old one. I have to go follow.
If you don't, look at his Instagram. His Instagram is hilarious. I mean, he has beautiful artwork, obviously, but it's a mixture of really fantastic ballpoint pen drawings and hilarious comic book cover parodies. Half of them are like one woman in bed with various other superheroes, and she's mocking them. Like she'll be in bed with Superman. She'll say, "Man of Steel, my ass." And, and Superman's looking all like sad and stuff. And it's like, I'm sorry, I'm just nervous.
Oh my gosh! So he does that because he kind of doubled down on his.
Yeah, he just doubled down on his sort of sexy outrage.
Of course, but that's his thing though, So it's like.
Yeah,
it's like there's no other way for him to go unless
Well, there is, but
no other way.
The thing is, he didn't cave when they attacked him. He didn't cave. He leaned into it. So he's still around, but Jim Ballant is gone, I guess.
Yeah, that's weird, man. Jimmy. I don't know. Jim Ballant, man.
Well, no, is he doing his own thing, right? Jim Ballant.
No, Jim Ballant, the Catwoman guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know.
I've never seen this.
I thought
Have you
he-
seen it?
No,
I
I thought
haven't.
after he left Catwoman, he started doing like kind of his version of Lady Death, like broad sword comics. I think it was.
I'm gonna look him up.
Yeah.
What's he doing now? Jim Ballant. He died during Y2K.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
I was gonna say I didn't think that.
I knew he. There's no way he died.
That
At
was
the stroke of
tragic.
midnight, at the stroke of midnight, Jim Ballant got downed by a mysterious virus. No. Catwoman 1993, blah blah blah. He left mainstream comics in 1999 to form his own company, Broadsword Comics,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
which publishes Tarot, Witch of the Black Rose, written and drawn by him. I've never heard of it, so
I've never seen the comic. I just heard of his company.
okay. And he's basically, I guess he's into Wicca and witchcraft.
Oh,
now.
really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
He speaks of his interest in both entertaining as well as educating his readers about the folklore and actual theology of Wicca and witchcraft.
Whoa.
With interviews with leading witch authors and spells from witches around the world.
Wow.
Whoa, man.
Dang.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Wow. No
Yeah.
wonder we haven't seen him.
Yeah. Now I'm glad. It's kind of crazy. Who Holly Go Lightly? His wife is. Name sounds familiar. Holly Go Lightly.
Sounds
Oh, I
familiar.
know. Yeah, I think it's the name of the character from Weekend at Tiffany's, or was it Breakfast? At
Oh yeah,
Tiffany's?
yeah. Breakfast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's and I guess his wife is weird too. She named herself after that character.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
odd.
yeah. Dude, I didn't even know that he did that. That's crazy. That's the way he went.
Yeah, I think the last thing he did for mainstream comics, he did a variant cover for Batman number 50 back in 2018
Oh, okay.
for one comic book store, Jetpack Comics, Forbidden Planet. Yeah, so he hasn't really done much. Just his own comic. Yeah.
That's strange.
That Tarot Witch of the Black Rose is the only thing he's worked on for the last 22 years.
Whoa,
So
man. Wow.
never heard of it.
What's funny is now that you mentioned that, I remember looking at some of his Catwoman art, and you could see some of that type of imagery in some of his illustrations. You know?
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah. I looking back, I just was thinking about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I never really. I mean, I follow some independent comics, but if an artist like left Marvel or DC back then, I didn't, or Image, I didn't track him down. I just sort of bought whatever was on the stand. So if I didn't see it, I didn't buy it. I mean, it wasn't like now on the internet. You can buy tons of books, but 20 years ago, you couldn't buy independent comic books unless it showed up on your doorstep, basically, in your local comic book store. So, oh well.
I'm all over
That's-
the place on what I buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nowadays, like, I don't even like a lot of independents. I was telling Matt, I was looking through the order book. And I
Oh,
said,
yeah.
this is a good time to get back into putting out comics, I said, because there's so much, like, just dark stuff. It's not really fun, exciting when you
Right.
read it. It's just like it's like watching a depressing emo movie, and
Yeah.
it's like, I don't want to do anything after I watch it, so I just want to take a nap.
Yeah.
That's what some of these comics feel,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
That's why I'm waiting for Modder to come out, but it hasn't yet. When's it coming out, Matt?
It will.
When
I
you
just gotta
gonna
get
take the
involved.
money, Matt?
yeah.
Why don't you want my money?
I'm gonna get it done. I'm getting it. I'm working on it now. I've been working on stuff. So,
Okay, good.
do you want to see? I'll show you one of my. Here, wait. to one of the NFTs I was doing. Because I'm going we're working on both back and forth. And let me see. Here we go. Here's one. This is a custom for
cool.
someone.
Nice.
So they wanted a Viking woman.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So I did this one. I got the Thor's hammer in there.
Ah.
Skirt, leather outfit, fur, cloak.
Matt.
Huh?
Why isn't she black? I'm just curious. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Oh, were you talking about that Thor movie?
Yeah.
No, I was talking about the Little Mermaid.
Oh,
yeah.
We talked about that too.
Lord of the
Love
Rings.
and Thunder. I was so excited. I wanted to see it in the theater, and I'm glad I didn't after seeing it on, Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And I was so disappointed. I was like, and I know what they're trying to do with like trying to make it cutesy. The little kids get
Thor's not cutesy. Yeah.
They basically the kids got possessed at the end by Thor.
That's terrible.
They start
so bad.
And I was like, that's humorous and stuff, but it's not something that I wanted to see. It was too much.
The only time I laughed during that entire scene was with the little girl with the teddy bear or the rabbit, and the lightning coming out of the rabbit's eyes. That made me actually laugh. Yeah, she was going crazy, going ah.
And then they showed the first person like shooter view, like where it was like, she's scanning the crowd, like hitting all the bad guys.
But one of the things I talked to my dad on, because me and him, we watched it with Matt at Matt's place, and then we were driving home, and my dad said, one thing that kind of I thought about, he said that Rock character, and I go, yeah, and he goes, I think that's really popular with kids. All the kids like that come in, he works at government services, and they come in with like toys, and he said kids love that character, and he said
really?
The fact that they made that character like play the whole two daddies at the end. He can get basically they're acting like genders interchangeable, so he can get married and he can have a baby with another man. And I'm like, why didn't they? So there's no female Rock characters in that world. There's only, you know what I mean? It kind of seemed like they were pushing that for little kids to.
That's because they were.
Yeah. Both they love those. They love that character because I'm like, they didn't do it to any other character but the one that is really marketable with kids.
Of course, it's called grooming.
Yeah.
you can't have the next generation of homosexuals unless you teach kids when they're young what to do.
But I just thought, why don't you just let kids enjoy the movie? Why do you have to keep pushing the modern? Also any bedroom issues. Period. Wasn't interested in Thor's romantic relationship with. I didn't care about that. And also, I thought about it as like all these people are taking their kids to see this film.
Right.
And they show naked Thor from behind.
Right. Yeah.
They show the females lusting after him, which is funny for adults, but it's like, and then they show like when he killed. Well, I'm giving all the spoilers, but it's been out.
Yeah, don't give spoilers to people.
Well, anyways, when they get
it's not worth not spoiling. It's so bad, you might as well spoil it.
Well, when they get the lightning bolt, he doesn't go retrieve the lightning bolt. He sends Valkyrie to do it.
Right. Yes.
And Valkyrie, they give that because they want to remind you, just in case you forgot,
exactly.
She's a lesbian.
Yeah.
So she has to flirt with all the women while she's retrieving the lightning bolt. And then the women that were swooning over Thor all of a sudden have to swoon over her. And you're like, I'm like, come on. It's so like every moment they couldn't let you just like enjoy anything. They were just like, let's keep pushing it. And I thought after seeing that and we've seen Doctor Strange, the new one.
Yeah.
And I just thought, they're really not going to let up. It's going to just get worse and worse. I personally think I was surprised that people didn't go trashing Thor when I was out in the theater, but they're all put all their energy into trashing She-Hulk.
Well, I think it's two things. One, Thor was so bad that there was plenty of other things to trash it about other than sort of shoehorned in homosexuality bits. And She-Hulk. Yeah.
But think of this: She-Hulk is a liberal lawyer in New York. You wouldn't really expect her not to have, goofy things, that liberal things come out of her mouth. So
Right.
it doesn't really bug me. It just makes me laugh because I'm like, that's kind of nonsense, and it comes off as nonsense.
Yeah. That'd be fine if it were just that. But it's. I'm probably not going to keep watching it just because it's just so badly written. It's. Half the shows have liberal characters, but they're well written.
Yeah.
And funny. I don't care. It's like Seinfeld is pretty liberal.
Oh yeah, it's extremely.
But it's hilarious. It's a hilarious show.
Yeah.
They bring everybody in on the humor.
Right. Yeah.
Where they kind of do like hey, we're nowhere being a little extreme and we're pushing, but we're like, hey, they kind of wink and nod at you, kind of like, yeah, you got it, right? You got we're making fun of ourselves at the same time.
Right.
And like nowadays they don't write that way. They write, we hate you if you're not on our side of this issue.
Like if you're not with us, you need to die.
Yeah. And Alfred Proto points out in the comments, he says in the comics, She-Hulk is an adventurer. That's the She-Hulk I read and loved. I've watched 4 episodes of She-Hulk, and she's hardly done anything. She spends more time on Tinder trying to find a guy to sleep with than she has actually, fighting bad guys. So it's I'm like, why am I wasting my time watching this goofy show where nothing's really happening?
I actually wish they would have did the John Byrne story where she went out into outer space and
that'd be great.
With, what was that Yeti character though?
Yes. Shmoo. No, not Shmoo. Xenu.
Yeah, Xenu.
Yeah. So,
that would have been cool if they did all that, and in the space truckers, and was it Razorback with the giant pig head?
Yeah.
If they would have had all that stuff.
They could still do it because I remember they
didn't have like that trucker character. What was his name?
U.S. Trucker.
U.S. Trucker.
Yeah,
it's hilarious. That was great.
Yeah. I love the John Byrne stuff, and I keep watching it because I'm hoping that they'll go right. Right now, I think they're just kind of finding their way, but also it could end up being just like the garbage reissue She-Hulk, like where they just focus on her being a lawyer and
I think that's gonna be
friend.
it.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Look what they did. They added that one scene with Hulk though in it. Remember, he's flying into space on a ship.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So they could actually try to introduce that, which would be cooler if they do that, because then her mind would be on just
won't do it
fighting.
till the end of the season.
Yeah, and I think that Hulk reference was probably pointing towards like a future movie with the Hulk, more than it is anything going on with the She-Hulk show.
But that would be cool if they did it, if they were smart. But yeah.
There you go.
No.
If they were smart.
If they were smart, no. That's funny.
She said Green Alley McBeal.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Green Alley McBeal. Who said that?
Alpha Proto said it.
Oh, that's hilarious, man. That's funny.
So, I'm kind of wondering if there's Marvel's probably done with movies.
Well,
they got a whole plan.
Marvel died with Stan Lee, so.
They got a whole plan though. They got what is it, Phase, whatever they're on.
Plan, bad plan.
Yeah, what is it like? They have did you see that Nick Fury trailer, the Secret Wars?
Yeah, Secret Invasion. Yeah.
Secret Invasion. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. I'm not sure about that. It's just it's very the trailer looked interesting, but I think it's kind of confusing because they set up this, as opposed to the comic books. In the comic books, the Skrulls were always bad guys, and in the Marvel universe so far, they've set them up as good guys. So I don't know. Yeah, like in Captain Marvel and in Spider-Man, Far From Home, one where he goes to Europe, the Skrulls are good guys in those movies.
Oh.
So I don't know how they're going to play it so that the scrolls are sort of, I guess it can work. I mean, it turns out that they were evil all along, and they were just secretly using the Avengers and all these heroes to sort of weasel their way into high positions of power.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, it would be cool if they did that. But I don't know.
knows?
I hope they do.
Who knows if they? Yeah, but yeah, that would be probably shocking if they just changed it and all of a sudden did something like that. You're like, whoa, they actually did something that you like, and it's like, who knows? Maybe they will.
Alpha Pro said they announced Trash Thunderbolts.
Oh yeah, that's weird. I'm not really familiar with that Thunderbolts thing either.
Thunderbolts in the comics was cool because they were all former bad guys who formed a team pretending to be good guys. They were still evil, but they were pretending to be good guys. And then
So who's in there now?
Well, in the live action movie, they're basically taking sort of the they're not bad guys. They're the bad boys of superheroes. So they're taking Winter Soldier. They're taking U.S. Agent from the Falcon and Winter Soldier TV series. They're taking what's her face, Ilana, Black Widow's sister.
Oh yeah.
The Taskmaster from the Black Widow movie, the female one.
Oh, she's in it?
Yeah, she's in it. She's one of them. Who else is in it? Oh, the Ghost from Ant-Man 2.
Oh yeah.
And who else? I think there's another character. Half the cast, half of the members are women. So that's what sort of stood out to me, that they like kind of purposely have tossed in all these characters that no one really knows or have heard of, and it's just like, well, I guess she's I guess she's good to be in it, because the only ones who I'd be interested in watching would be Elena and Winter Soldier. Oh, and I guess U.S. Agent. Those three characters are interesting.
Where was U.S. Agent in? I don't even remember that guy.
He was in the Falcon and Winter Soldier TV series. You watched that?
Okay. Yeah, I never watched it.
Okay. Yeah. It starts off good, and then it crashes and burns in the last couple of episodes.
Yeah, I watched it. I think I watched the first episode, and I was like,
first episode when his sister said, "Oh, how do you hang out with all those white people?"
Oh yeah.
and I'm like, we're only half white, but we were still offended.
Yeah, you're half offended. Yeah.
Well, I was offended only because he's best friends with Captain America, man. You know.
Yeah.
And he has total respect for Cap. I mean, he held him as like the standard, right?
Well, my attitude is like, why would you care what somebody is? You know, their ethnicity. Who gives a crap?
She's a racist.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
And plus, I couldn't buy. Why does she have 6 fingers? Oh, okay, never mind. I'm watching Matt's drawing. It's like, I think you have an extra.
Like, what are you doing, Matt? Like,
you know what? Somebody said that they wish there was a She-Hulk game. I think that would be a cool way to get the John Byrne storyline done in a game, like where you can advance the level and then have a little like the Japanese animation in between.
Yeah. I couldn't buy in Falcon and Winter Soldier, like at the beginning of the show, Falcon can't get a loan for his family's boat. You know, his family are fishermen. And he can't get a bank loan. And it's like, this is the guy who helped save the entire universe. The whole world knows it. He's like a major. He's like a big member. He's a member of the Avengers. He's high up in the U.S. military, and a bank won't loan him like $10,000. I can get $10,000 from that bank, and I'm nobody.
Yeah. He saved the world, right?
Right. Yeah.
He helped save the world, so it's like, come on.
That's a thing about Falcon. I love that character, you know, and I always just thought, why give him the stupid shield, man? Because he looks so cool. He's already got wings that can block everything.
They completely ruined. Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's like the shields. I even liked it when they changed the color of the costume. I thought that was cool. I just thought the shield kind of seems like it's antique in his hands. He doesn't need it.
Well, they have they have to in order for him to be quote unquote Captain America, because he's just Falcon and Captain America cosplay.
Well, they could have painted his wings like an American flag when they opened.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like giving him a red, white, and blue costume doesn't make him Captain America. It's like Captain America can't just be a regular guy. He has to be superhuman because otherwise anyone can be Captain America. You know, just give him
super soldier,
give him the costume. That's not what makes you Captain America. What makes you Captain America is that you have abilities that a normal soldier doesn't have. You know, any soldier can put on a wingsuit. Any soldier can carry a shield and run around, but he'll probably get killed his first day doing it. So, what makes Sam so special? That's why I always, it's like Bucky should have been Captain America, not Sam. It doesn't make sense to give the shield to a normal guy.
He's a super soldier too from that same era, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? They could have had him offer it to him, and he could have been like, you know what? I think this would be better in your hands, and he could have turned it over to him.
Right. Yeah, that would have been better. But
I can understand how he respected Falcon, and but he would have been like, I really don't need this.
Yeah, but I think Marvel wanted Steve Rogers to officially, sign off on Sam being his successor.
Yeah.
And I think that was a bad idea. I mean, it's just like he's not worthy of it.
Alpha said Falcon could talk to birds in the comics.
Yeah.
I don't remember that part.
It's really stupid.
I don't know. That'd be kind of cool if you could talk to birds.
All they want to say is,
to a certain extent. But, I mean, as a superpower, it's kind of lame. It's like, it's like Squirrel Girl talking to squirrels. It's like,
with your power, I could talk to birds. They're like, okay. Welcome to the Avengers.
Yeah. Who said Aquaman of the Air? Someone did just now.
Aquaman of the Air?
Yeah, it's Alpha Proto. Yeah, basically. Well, it's Aquaman at least is cooler because you can call whales and sharks and stuff. What are you gonna call if you can talk to birds? Hawks. I guess that's cool, but I don't know.
Did anybody buy the Jay Lee Neymar comics?
Oh yeah, I did.
I always thought the actor that they picked for Aquaman should have just been Neymar.
Oh yeah, who would have been much better off. Because he actually looked like Jay Lee's version.
Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
Jason Momoa, yeah.
I've been buying those in the back issue bin recently, and I was like, man, what the casting was messed up here.
and he looks a lot more like him than that goofy guy they hired to play Namor.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's so
I didn't see
ridiculous. Oh my gosh, so bad.
Oh, did you see what Mike Deodato Jr. did?
Oh yeah, that's hilarious.
Oh my gosh,
that was hilarious. It's true though.
Yeah, but I was like, why did you do that, man? He's like, how old is he?
He should at least put pants on.
Exactly. Did you see that?
Was a mistake.
No.
Mike Deodato Jr. Remember the artist?
Yeah.
He took a picture of himself naked.
He's
Why?
60.
He took a picture of himself naked from the behind, like Namor did, posing, and he's showing that he had a better physique than that guy did. But he's 60 years old and he had butt cheeks who were covered by what? Like something covered him. But
barely,
he's like,
barely covered.
You can tell he has no like underwear on. I'm like, why would you do that?
Yeah. I think he's going a little crazy in his old age.
Yeah.
Maybe he's hoping some like young chickie's like, oh, that's great.
It kind of backfired on him though. So.
Yeah, everybody's like, what the heck? Because even if you're in good shape, you're still 60. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Stallone.
I've been reading Little Orphan Annie comics, and they call everybody chickies and birds.
Yeah, they'll call them broads.
No, chickies and birds. Even if it's a tough guy, they go, look at this chickie over here. And she talks like a thug sometimes because she's like, you stick your head through that hole and I'm going to teach you a lesson. She's got a club. She's clubbing.
Oh, yeah.
Clubbing people at the train yard.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Well, she grew up on the streets. So,
Oh, man. Yeah. I never... Somebody's been posting them on Facebook, and I'm like, I'm laughing, and I'm downloading them all on my phone because I'm like, these are great. She's a little thug, man.
She is.
She got a guy almost hit by a train. She purposely lured him, and then another time these guys stole her newspapers that she was selling for money. So she ran in front of a car because there was a puddle on the curb, and it splashed them and ruined the papers that they were and so they try to get her, and then she like clubbed the guy in the kneecap, and I was like, dude.
Dang.
And she's like, that's what you get. You think you're gonna steal from me and walk away? And then she walks down the street there and she goes, anybody that's not willing to fight for what's theirs doesn't deserve to have anything. I was like, wow. You're like Annie the thug.
She's hardcore, man.
Yeah, and then she shanked that guy in prison.
But because I never read those things, because you see these movies and it's like all it is musicals, and you're like,
Yeah.
And now I'm starting to enjoy the messed up stuff because somebody showed me Dick Tracy comic strips, and I got hooked on those because I'm like,
Oh yeah,
they're
the violence.
yeah.
They're violent. Yeah.
He's grating a guy's face off. And it was just like weeping, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. If you read like the early ones, I remember local library, I would get these compilations of all these classic strips like Batman, Superman, Dick Tracy.
Yeah.
And I'd read it from the beginning, like 1931 or whenever it started. He's shooting people in the forehead and stuff. I mean, it's just like really. I mean, I'm reading this at the age of like 10, like shocked. Like, oh my gosh! It's like because if you would read them in the Sunday papers every week, it's like he doesn't do that stuff anymore. But back then he was just like clubbing and shooting people left and right, and he gets shot, and then he spent like like a week holed up in some place like bleeding out and stuff. It's a crazy strip, but it was made during the height of the prohibition and the gang wars. So,
yeah, the gangster movies, right?
Yeah, so I guess they just incorporated all that stuff into the strips.
Man,
that's why people were tough back then.
Yeah.
They're reading all these tough comics.
Yeah, because I'm like, I expected her just to be doing singing stuff. And and I was like, I go, I don't know, because people kept posting them up, and so I was like, what? I don't want to see her doing singing. Like, and I thought she was gonna be talking to birds and stuff, and like Falcon. And then all of a sudden she's clubbing thugs on the street, dodging cars and rail trains, and I'm like, wow. And she's taking care of other orphans because they're all living in a shack right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty hardcore. I liked it.
Cool.
But you can't afford to buy those books, man, because I after reading the strips for free online, I went to just a used bookstore, and I guess man, the hardcovers they're selling them reprinted, they're like $50 to $100 now. And I was like, man,
Really?
yeah. So everything I'm interested in now, I can't even afford to collect.
Yeah, seriously.
So my birthday when it's coming up, Little Orphan Annie.
Oh, hear that, Matt?
Yeah.
How old are you gonna be?
Oh, that's a secret.
Okay.
See?
I almost said it, but then I was like, Matt's always like, you really gotta stop telling everybody your age.
Yeah, man.
So 25.
I'm only looking out for Mike,
No, I consider anybody 25 and under the youngins.
The youngins. Okay, so you're 55.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's too is the vocabulary in those comic strips.
Yeah.
I realized we've really slid downhill because man, their vocabulary is like some
Much
of the
better.
words I had to look up.
Oh no!
I was like, I was just like, what?
And
the
more than
heck?
3 syllables in it. I know.
Well,
What
it described a certain type of boat used for guiding ships in a harbor, and I was like, no, it was a military name for and I was like, I had to look it up. I was like, what is he talking about? So yeah, Dick Tracy was like, we'll meet him, and we'll sneak a port. I can't even remember the name. I wrote it down on my phone because I was like, this is a weird name. Yeah. Yeah, have to look up stuff. No, it's not a barge. I know what a barge is. Yeah, musicals did have catchier tunes. Yeah. Hard Knock Life. Yeah.
It's a hard knock life for us.
And then what is it? Even the sun will come out tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Everybody redid that one. Yeah, I like the Hard Knock Life one. I'm not really a big musical person, but I gotta admit I watched was it part of Singing in the Rain? I haven't seen the whole movie.
Oh yeah, that's a great movie.
I started going, man, these were actually well done.
Yeah, no, I love old musicals. They're really good. So
yeah, at first I thought that's kind of girly stuff, and then I was like, man, no, this is good stuff, and in the acting was good too, but also that these people are freaking athletes, man. The stuff they're doing, it's like
crazy.
Yeah. So
I
got impressed by was it American in Paris? Was that the one that where that one guy was dancing with the mouse, Tom and Jerry?
Oh yes.
oh
my God, Gene Kelly.
yeah.
He looked like he was floating.
Oh
A
yeah.
couple times when he jumped, it didn't look real.
Yeah, phenomenal, performer.
No, Fred Astaire I seen in what was that Daddy Long Legs. Now I got a crush on that lady, but she's an old lady now.
Ginger Rogers.
No, she's a French lady. Jeez, I hate doing this. I hate when you kind of almost know it. Leslie Caron, I think it is. But he plays this guy that like basically becomes her benefactor, and he doesn't want to fall in love with her, but he ends up falling in love with her, And but the dancing stuff they did in that, I was like, this is crazy. Like it was like a martial art, because they're dodging high kicks and ducking under, and I'm like he's doing a spin flip kick, and she's ducking under it, doing another spin flip where she's ducking under, and I'm like, crazy. So it made me go, okay, I guess I kind of do like musicals, It just
Leslie Caron, yes.
Yeah, I don't like the new stuff though. I've seen so many, like they try to recapture it, and they can't really. They're not good at it. Yeah. I like the parody stuff, I guess. Like I seen a video by Bjork, where she does like a music video where everybody's dancing with her.
Yeah.
And it's Oh So Quiet. If you guys look that up, by Bjork. And that one actually was pretty cool.
Oh So Quiet.
Yeah.
Because
I've been buying old CDs at Book Off, the used bookstore. And,
Oh yeah.
And I got some of her stuff, and I was like, so I started looking up music videos to see if they had any.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, it's some good videos here.
She's kind of crazy, so I stopped watching her.
Oh yeah, man! Did you see her attack that reporter?
Really?
Yes, she is.
No.
She's kind of nuts.
Did you see her attack that reporter?
Yeah.
Remember, it was the Asian lady said, "Hey, Bjork, welcome to Thailand," or something like that, and she was just like grabbed her by the hair and was like, "Ah."
Yeah.
Well, that's sad. I started liking her a lot.
Mikey likes that in a woman.
I didn't know
she's like,
crazy.
wow, she's got some fire in her.
Crazy in the head, crazy in the bed.
Like tiger.
So what musicals do you like, Amy Lester? And
Amy
Alpha
likes
Proto?
Me likes Oklahoma
Oklahoma?
and Sound of Music.
Oh. I hate Sound of Music.
What?
You know why? I have bad memories from it. I've never seen the movie all the way through. What happened was I was in high school, and the first time they were playing it was like after everybody did their exams. Like you go to this movie room and watch movies until the end of the day. And I go in there, and this girl, that liked me kept bothering me, and I guess I embarrassed her, not intentionally, but she kept touching my hair, and I was like, "Hey man, just don't touch me, man." And she kept touching my hair, and so I go, and she goes, "I didn't do it," and I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." And so I caught her hand, and I turned her around. I go, "Come on, man, just leave me alone. Don't touch me." And so, well, no, she got mad that I people started laughing. Oh, you keep touching that guy's hair, So she got all embarrassed. So she started trying to slap me because I grabbed her wrist, and so I just threw her coat away so she'd go away because I'm like, I don't want to get in a fight with a girl. And so when I was watching the rest of the movie, she comes up and sprays my eyes, coats them with hairspray.
Oh dang! What the frick?
And I have scarring on my eyes, and that's why I wear glasses now.
Jeez.
But it coated my eyes, so all I could see was milky white. And
yuck.
Yeah, and I never seen the rest of the movie ever since.
Dang.
Yeah,
What happened to her?
Well, she didn't get in trouble for it. I
She
actually
didn't get in trouble.
no, that was it. And basically, I forgave her, in the past, but I'm like, I just like, I don't even want to see that movie. I just every time I think of that, I'm thinking about how I felt like blinded.
You get flashbacks.
Yeah.
And I feel pissed at something I shouldn't feel pissed about.
Right.
It's like in the past. And so I don't want to watch this. So I see that heroes are alive. I'm like, click, turn the channel.
Get flashbacks.
Yes, I technically got maced. It kept coating my eyes so much that I couldn't, even when I was washing my face, I couldn't get my eyes to be normal for a while.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was scary.
Man.
And even to this day, when I go, to get, an update on my glasses, I go in and they'll always go, "Oh, we want to take a photos of your eyes." I don't know if you ever done that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah, and they'll always go, "You got scarring on that one lens a lot," and I go, and the other one's a little bit, and they go, "Yeah," and they go, "Man, your prescription never changes though," and I go, "Yeah, I only have glasses because of that scarring."
Right.
It kind of warped my lens, and they're like, "Oh," because the lady's like, "Oh, that's sad," and I go, "Yeah, it is."
Oh my gosh.
And that's why I want to get LASIK to have that cut off.
Oh no.
Well, you get that LASIK, and they now shape the top of the lens off.
Will they be able to fix it? I mean,
Yeah, they actually said I would still be eligible. They said for it.
Okay.
But the thing is, I also told Matt we should really get LASIK because if the world goes to even more
it'll be fun. Yeah.
You don't want to be like, I dropped my glasses, I'm screwed, I can't see, the aliens attack me.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if you went to get LASIK and that girl was your surgeon.
Oh,
It should be on the house then.
Right.
It's free. It's on the house.
She's like, I have to correct this to make up for the past. You're like, hey, there you go. I
That'd be a
forgave
dream.
her though.
It's like,
I don't
Mikey,
have a grudge against her.
Mikey, we meet again. She starts touching your hair.
Yeah.
Stop touching my hair. And
She's like,
no, and the laser's like,
Yeah.
it's like a Seinfeld episode again, right?
She waits till you're strapped down, then she starts like messing with your hair.
It's like this, like a
I used to have
Seinfeld.
really long hair in the back, so people would always want to touch it. It was long on
Mike
top
had
too. I just had it
a mullet.
No, it was long on top and the sides and slicked
You had the
back.
Steven Seagal here.
So it was like Steven
Oh, okay.
Seagal, but not like a ponytail long. And then later, people started calling me Indian because I get tan in the summer if I'm outside all the time, and we have like an 8th Indian, so I wasn't bothered by it, but they kept going, hey chief.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then I had a guy throw a beer bottle on my back when I was walking outside the road because he was like, we can go back to the reservation.
Oh, where do you live?
I lived in Detroit, So.
Dang.
Yeah, it's funny is when people complain about racism, I go, me and Matt had so many physical attacks on our person from different demographic groups.
Right, yeah.
From white, from black, from Hispanic, from Asians. That I go, when people go, somebody called me a name, I go, I got set on fire. Somebody called me a name. I got set on fire in high school. My entire shirt went up. I put myself out against the wall and then punched the guy out.
Dang.
I got set on fire.
I remember that.
For
That was
racism.
my shirt you're wearing too.
Yeah. That's all Matt cared about. He's like, I go, Matt, I got set on fire, and I'm like all shaky, and I go, and he goes, in my shirt? Who said you could wear my shirt? I go, you son of a
My shirt.
I almost went on, my whole body almost went up. You can't understand how hot the flames were. I put my back out against the wall, and he's like, yeah, but now my shirt smells bad. I gotta throw it away. I'm like, I love that shirt. I'm like, you scumbag, man.
That's my favorite Pokemon shirt.
Yeah.
He was not good at supporting me there.
Hey, no, I congratulate you for putting the fire out.
Congratulations on not getting killed.
Yeah. Good job.
No, in school, I wasn't like, we had a lot of people that were like freaking taller than me, and I'm 5'8", but we had people that looked like they're like playing for the NBA, and
All right,
and so they were like, hey, if they wanted to get in a fight, they'd go, who looks like the nicest guy that smiles all the time? And I smile so much that everywhere I went, people would go, "Why are you smiling?" And I'm like, "I don't know.
right.
I didn't even know I was smiling."
It's like, ask your mom.
Well, I got to the point I had to learn how to deal with it because people, like grown adults, would come up to a kid and be like, "Oh, I just want to knock that S-eat grin off your face," and I'm like,
"Aw, what?"
And it was like,
dang,
like all the time. And so finally, when I got a job, and I remember the boss kept coming up and trying to like going, "Why are you smiling? It's because you're a retard," and he'd say stuff and like try to embarrass you in front of customers even, right? And so I finally just said one day when he came in and I was talking to this girl customer that I kind of like, and he goes, "Hey, why are you smiling like an idiot?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not smiling like an idiot." And he goes, "You're smiling. Look at how much smile." I go, "Oh, you know why I'm smiling? And because when I see you, I realize one day you're gonna die."
Oh.
And he's like, "That's not nice."
Dang. I was just joking, man.
And then he started crying.
He started crying and ran to his office and closed the door.
Bear in mind,
and then he heard a gunshot.
That boss didn't bother me though, because I stood up for him when a customer threatened to kick his butt. The guy was like, the guy actually was bragging in front of all of the customers because it was a comic store. He was bragging about having given my boss a bloody nose in the past.
Whoa.
And then he was bragging about, "You didn't do nothing about it, did you? Yeah, man, I remember I blooded your nose." And he goes, "You're a total wuss. You didn't do crap." He goes, "Remember that?" He goes, "What, you getting shaky now?" And I just was like, this guy's an a-hole coming in here. So I just go, "Just shut up, man. Get out of here. Nobody likes you." And he was a Marine drill instructor, and he was like, he was crazy. I found out later, so I'm blessed that I didn't get in an altercation. But he says, "Come over here and say that to my face," because I'm on the other side of the counter. And I go, "What are you, retarded? I just did say it to your face." And then he goes, "Oh, go freaking come on over here, man!" Oh shit! You know, he's like getting all like shaky, and I go, "What are you gonna cry, baby? You need your bottle?" And he's like, "I'll freaking shut up bottle." And I go, "You don't have the balls, man. Get out of here. Nobody likes you." I go, "Your mama's calling. Get out of here." You know. And then a bunch of people came in, so he left. You know. Later, one day, like maybe a month later, he comes running into our store and he runs through our back room out the back alley, and he yells at us, "You didn't see me!" And he goes running down the alley, and I look out there and I see him run to the left, and all of a sudden one of our customers, funny enough, who was a cop, comes running in going, "Where?" And I go, "To the left, down the alley." He runs out after him. I later found out they caught him, but what he did is 3 teenage boys cut him off at a red light and gave him the finger when he honked at him. He got out of the car, and they thought, "Hey, this old guy's getting out of the car." He's like not old. He was in, well, it depends on what you think is old. He was in his late 30s.
Yeah.
And they got out with a crowbar. Well, "What are you gonna do, old man?" He got out with a crowbar, broke the kid's arm, broke the other kid's clavicle, and folded the other kid's arm like a wet noodle around the crowbar.
Oh no!
And then shoved his head right through the side window. And then the police showed up because he's in the middle of the street beating a bunch of teenagers senseless.
Wow!
And hospitalized all 3 of them.
Wow!
And then he runs off down to the street, which is the direction of our store, runs through our store, and that's when the cop chased him with our customer too, and it was hilarious because and then I was like, he goes, "Man," he basically like, "Somebody, must have ratted on me because they found me so quick." And
somebody.
And he got out, but he later went to prison right away because what happened was, and he got kicked out of the military for this. He was driving on the road to Ann Arbor, which, it's a really narrow back road. He's going from Westland to Ann Arbor, and the college town, and this old lady's in front of him doing like 35, and instead of just waiting for it to be clear to go around her, he starts rams her off the road into the ditch, and he comes to our store later bragging about it. And he's bragging like, oh man, she must have been 70. Her tail lights were flying, aimed up in that sky, man. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
It's raining. Let's see that, that old witch walk home in the soggy, and he's saying all this crap. And I was just like, you're psycho, man.
Yeah, you're a freaking psycho.
He thought we would laugh with him, but he's like, you don't think that's funny? They're like, no, you're psycho. And I'm like, it hasn't dawned on you? You're a complete psycho?
Yeah.
He doesn't even know he's crazy.
Well, they caught him because she had a camera in her car because she kept having somebody mess with the car. So they got his license plate. They caught him, and he got kicked out of the army too for the Marines.
Yeah.
So dishonorable discharge.
Yeah. For getting caught.
Yeah.
For getting caught.
Yep. Yeah, we're getting caught.
You don't do that stuff. Don't let anyone catch you.
Yeah. And also, he had the nerve to have a Marine sticker on his truck, just in case people didn't know who.
Yeah.
He couldn't say, "Hey, it's somebody else, man." I said, "Hey, if you're gonna do that, you should have had an Army sticker."
Yeah. That was hilarious. You should have said "Go Navy."
Yeah, go Navy.
Hashtag respect your elders.
Oh man. I just realized it's already 11, man.
Yeah.
I just realized it should be end of the
Get
stream.
off your butt.
Your mom's calling.
He said your mom's calling.
Somebody let the helium out of that balloon.
Guess who's on here?
Oh.
Okay, wait.
What are you talking to me?
Say, look, Mikey.
The OG Mikey.
Yeah! I know you!
That actually blew my eardrum out.
I know, seriously, I
I
gotta
am
take my
so
headphones off.
sorry. Oh my gosh, I don't mean for anybody to go deaf here. I apologize.
My ears feel like Mikey's eyes from back in high school.
It's burning. It hurts.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
what did I do?
Yeah, I
Anyway,
got a lot of unfortunate stories, but what's funny is I think of them as funny now that I'm older and out of a few years away from all that stuff. But when I tell people like Becky that haven't experienced all that, she's like, "Oh," and then I go, "Man, stop doing that." And she's like, "What?" And I go, "You're starting to make."
What?
Before it was just an amusing story to me, and then when somebody goes, "I feel bad for you," I'm like, "What?" That to me, it was just like that's.
Well, yeah, it's kind of horrifying, when when we're hearing it. It's just like, oh my gosh, they set you on fire and they tried to burn your eyes out with hairspray.
You know how many times we almost got abducted as kids, me and Matt?
That only happened to me once or twice, but
It happened so much to us that my grandma made me paranoid from everybody that would adult. Any adult that I didn't know that walked behind me at the grocery store was potentially going to jab me with a needle, knock me out, take me to the bathroom, dye my hair, and escape with me. Yeah,
Wow.
and you know what? It's a good thing she did that because we had probably like 5 abduction attempts, probably.
Wow.
Like people just that wanted to murder us as kids,
Wow, we got multimillionaire, or we last name Wayne? What?
No. I think we just looked like victims or something when we were kids because we were always smiling, we were happy kids.
Okay.
But people didn't realize we did have a survival sense because we moved around a lot, so we weren't like these little soft city kids that didn't. We lived in urban areas and we lived in rural areas where we got hunted by people with their dogs on chains chasing us through cornfields. So we had
You're
stuff.
You're like little Orphan Annie.
Yep. It's a hard knock life.
Exactly.
I got 252 stitches in my body to prove it. All
How
different
much?
areas.
What?
252.
What?
Yeah.
250?
Yeah, different times, different events.
Holy man! I'm still working on my first stitch.
Matt was blessed. He never got any.
Wow.
I ain't never got any stitches or any broken bones or anything.
Me either.
Amy Lester put up a shocked cartoon face.
Yeah.
Was that for the abduction stuff?
Right, both.
Oh, okay.
Probably everything you've been saying for the last half an hour.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't want to traumatize anybody.
He's like,
To
take
me,
your pick.
they're funny stories. I'll share more next time.
The lesser sisters are very pure, so you have to be careful. You don't want to just destroy their whole world viewpoint.
Just look both ways before crossing the street.
Amy says, "I'm trying not to say I'm so sorry."
Hey, I learned how to, disarm somebody with a knife. I've learned a lot.
What?
So, yeah.
Yeah. Mike,
Wait.
Mike, it's funny. One kid pulled a knife on us when we were like in high school, and it was me, Mike, and
Well,
one
that
of
was
our
my
friends.
second time somebody pulled a knife,
And-
so I was ready.
And he pulled a knife on us, and he goes, "Hey, you want some of this?" And like we kind of like backed off, and then Mike rushed him and like grabbed his arm and started banging against the this pole.
Yeah,
and
I just grabbed him by the throat and the arm and just banged his arm against the wall until he dropped, and then I just kneed him a whole bunch of times in the rib cage until I dropped him.
Yeah. This
So,
kid, I was like, "What the?"
And then what I did is I stood on the blade and pulled the handle up and broke it. And,
Oh, wow.
and
And
I
then
ran
this-
away from him and threw it in the trash where he couldn't find it.
And then this same kid brought brass knuckles to school.
Oh yeah.
And he was like wanting a piece of Mike with the brass knuckles. And
Uh,
then he's like,
but
"You want to?" He's like, "Let's go." So like Mike's like,
But by
"Okay,
this
let's go."
by this time, I had already been in more than like too many fights that I shouldn't tell because then it sounds bad. But I wasn't a bad kid. I was a good kid. Never picked a fight. Never started a fight. I even had people call me names, spit on me, throw stuff at me. Never threw a punch. Never did anything like that to anybody. But if they physically were attacking me and I couldn't get away, then I just took care of myself.
Mhm.
And also I learned.
And he took care of them.
Well, I learned too, if they pull a knife, you might as well fight them because they're going to cut you if you don't.
Right.
So,
yeah.
like the first time, a guy pulled an X-Acto blade on me, and I tried to run away, and I got slashed. So then I was like, luckily my pants were thick enough where it only cut my leg like a thin line.
Yeah.
But if I would have, had like something like khakis on instead of like a rough jean,
Yeah. Corduroys. Yeah.
it would have went right through.
Sheesh.
But I learned my lesson. I was like, okay, you're gonna get cut if somebody pulls a knife, so it's better to react before they can react.
Right.
So
Yeah.
before they're in the actual attack position,
You shot
if
him.
you can close that distance, and also it shocks them too because they don't expect that. They're like,
Right. Yeah.
they expect you to be like everybody else. They're like, whoa. And I was just like, you're done, man. But that's the problem is he came back because of that, and he was like,
Yeah, he
He's
had
like,
brass
"You
knuckles.
"You think you're so tough? Come on, Carson." And I was cocky at this point because I had been in a lot of stuff, especially with him. I've been in a couple times,
Yeah.
And so instead of being like normally where you don't want to fight, I just was
Right.
at that point. I was like, let's do it because he started detonating the locker. So I just raised
Wow.
my hands up above me and I go, "You want a shot at the title? Come on."
And then he started taking his jacket off. The guy with the brass
Yeah, he had a
knuckles.
leather
And
jacket. He started
as
putting
soon
it
as
behind
he
his
like reached behind his to grab his sleeve, Mike rushed him and grabbed his jacket and whipped it over his head like a hockey jersey and just started kneeing him.
and an elbow in the back of his head, and then he was pretty strong, so he was knocking him down, and then he got up and used his even though his arms were tied back, he knocked the air out of me by slamming his shoulder into my stomach. So I just started elbowing him over and over until he dropped.
Sheesh.
And then I just walked away. I was like, I don't need to get anything.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like that hatching approach too.
Yeah. You must have liked that show, Reacher.
Oh, you know what? I didn't like the show.
You didn't?
You know why? I kind of felt like,
He was
there's
too
something-
soft?
No. I felt like some of the guys that came at him, I'm like, it's true. I did have a little guy come at me before that was really little, but the thing is he paid 5 big guys later to come at me in high school, and I was like, I don't see these little guys keep coming at that guy when he's like already messing everybody up. I thought it was kind of unrealistic.
Well,
Yeah.
I think the idea was that these guys were like crazy because there are some little guys who have like Napoleonic complexes and they're like psycho.
Yeah, sometimes they're the most dangerous.
Yeah, because they get off on proving that how tough they are against like big guys. So
Yeah.
like Joe Pesci from what was that movie? That mobster movie.
Goodfellas.
Goodfellas. Yeah, he was the craziest one out of all of them.
Yeah, that was messed up.
Yeah. It's like, go get your shoe shine box, and then he comes back and he just like beats the guy, to death.
Well, here's the great thing is I found out later in when I got transferred to high school, I found out I got from elementary school because I had a lot of interactions even back then.
Yeah.
But even though I had a lot of messed up like the knife and the brass knuckles in high school,
Right.
in elementary school, my reputation from what I did in elementary school protected me when I transferred to another school where all the kids from elementary school remember me. And so like these football players were going around and they would say nonsense to people, like trying to be like, hey, homo say what? And they mumble like that kind of stuff, and somebody'd be like, what? And they'd be slam their head in the locker, or they'd sucker punch the back of the head, knock them out. And so they'd come up to people that were smaller than them, as a group.
Right.
And they came over to me, and one of the guys was in my math class, but he recognized me from elementary school because and I didn't remember him though. And
the football
and
player.
so this football player came up to me and my brother, and all these football players are walking up to us, and this guy comes up to me and starts going, "Hey, so doing mumbling," and he wants you to lean forward and go, "What are you talking about?" So he can start to mess with you. And
right, yeah.
And then his friend, all of a sudden from my math class, I recognize him. He runs up and he goes, "Hey," and he goes, "What? This guy?" And he goes, "What? You kidding me?" And he goes, "All right." And then they walked away. And so later in my math class, I was like, what was that about? Because they didn't say anything to us.
Yeah.
And so I just couldn't help it. I asked the guy when I was over there getting paper, I said, "Hey, what'd you say to that jock that came up to me?" And he's like, "I just told him, man, you're a freaking pit bull." And he's like, "What?" And he goes, "I told him, I go, it's not over till he says it over, man. If you want to start something with him, he don't care." Because what happened is in 6th grade, I got transferred from 2 schools. So I was in 3 schools in 6th grade in 1 year. And when I got transferred there, I would get the crap kicked out of me every day. And I didn't want to tell my mom because I was just like, what are you going to say? Like, she's crying because I keep getting holes in my pants.
Yeah.
So I just like, I'm not going to tell her, but when she finally was like, "Mike, I can't afford to keep buying more pants for you," and she's crying and said, "I'm tight on money right now," because we just moved to Michigan.
Then Mike's like, I got to start killing
and
people.
So I'm just like, that's when I realized I got to start just laying out bodies, man. And so when this little Indian kid was it was like the cartoon, the dog, "Hey Spike, what are we gonna do, Spike?" Well, that was he was the little crony to the big guy, and I don't want to say names because everybody will know, and I don't know if I can get sued even all these years later because I did some personal injury to him that he definitely probably lied about later and said a dog did it to him. Wow. But it's pretty brutal.
You did him?
Yeah, but it's brutal. I don't want to go into it.
Yeah,
but I'll just tell you the fun part here.
The fun part.
So later I got stood up for myself, but they still were like enough of them that they're like, "We're just gonna keep ganging up on you," and I try to avoid everybody, and they start leaving me alone because I did stand up, and it kind of hurt a lot of them,
Yeah.
But this one guy, he was not really in my class, and because there was 2 6th grade classes, and he started like doing stuff to this girl that was in my school. I almost said her name, and and she was like, she's like, "My sister's a cheerleader in high school, and she taught us these cheers," and so he started sexually fondling her, and I didn't know anything about that. And she was screaming, and nobody's helping her, and so she slaps him, and then he like just palm slaps her down on the ground.
Whoa!
And her, like, nose is bleeding on her sweatshirt, and he's like laughing, and then he still starts fondling her, and nobody's doing anything. So I just go, I'm sitting on those playground log stuff, and I'm just like, "Hey, leave her alone, man." And I didn't, understand what was going on completely, but I was just like, "Leave her alone." And so he was just like, "Oh, what are you gonna do about it?" "I'm just telling you, man, leave her alone." And then he just ignored me, so I ran over and stomp kicked him off of her. And then he got up and proceeded to show me how fast and strong he was by beating my face in. But every time I try to throw a punch, he'd already like land 3 punches. He was like good boxing, you know. His dad must have taught him or something. But kid was extremely fast, and he was already like went through puberty, which I hadn't, and so he had like power, man. So he like land 2 punches before I could throw one, and I'd be flying down on the ground, but I kept getting up. And at this point, even the kids that didn't like me were like, stay down, man. My face, my lips split open, my nose is broken and over, and my shirt's just soaked, and I'm just keep getting up. And my friend finally, I'll say just his first name, Marks, because he was my only friend at the time. He's like, stay down, you idiot, don't get up. And I'm like, nah, man, I'm the good guy. I didn't start this. He started this. I go, I'm gonna knock him out, and he's like, you idiot. Of course, got knocked down probably a dozen times. I finally got up, and the guy, I just go, I'm gonna knock you out. And I just started rushing at him, and he was like he got scared all of a sudden, probably tired from beating the crap out of me. And he went, and I just did an overhand hook. Like I threw it, and the arc it went from his top of his temple down to across to his jaw. And it knocked him out, and his head bounced on the sidewalk.
Ouch.
And he was out. And then I went to the bathroom and filled up the sink with blood, and my friend was like laughing, and the girl, she thought I was trying to save her. She was like, oh my gosh, I was messed up. And then later on, I didn't know that my nose was that messed up, but this kid started clicking his thumbnail, going, hey, acting like he could move his nose. And I was like, that's nothing, I could do that too. And I grabbed my nose without doing the fake clicking your thumbnail against your teeth. And I just started clicking my nose back and forth. He was like, oh my God. And I go, what? You were doing it? And he goes, no, man, something's wrong with you. You got to go tell your mom.
Oh, no.
I went and told my mom, like, oh, yeah, your nose is broken. And like, don't move it. And if I sneezed or looked down too long, I just used to bleed, because they said the entire inside of my nose tissue was broken so bad. That there was just exposed bone. And he said, like, it'll grow over, and the nose will fuse back if you stop getting hit. So they transferred me from public school to private. But that's where I got knives pulled on me. I got brass knuckles pulled on me. You know, and so I learned to do stuff.
Yeah, it's funny because Mike was like the baby-faced kid in school. Like that's probably why people probably messed with him, because he just looked like an easy target. But he learned how to fight from just having necessity of doing it. I actually told people it's actually easier to fight 5 people at once and not get as hurt than it is to fight one person one-on-one. Because every time I fought one-on-one, I always got hurt really bad. But when I fought like 5 people, I would always, they would rush you, and it's like, you know, the vanishing point. You're an artist. All the lines trying to hit a vanishing point. Now those lines are fat, chunky lines. Now they're all going to collide with each other before they can hit that one point, and they only can hit one section, which is me. I'm the vanishing point. But what are they? I can hit any direction. I'm going to hit somebody. So what I would do is I'd hit the guy that's closest, pull him in front of me, and then he would try to fight to gain balance, and I'd hit him by pulling him back and punch him and then throw him into the other guy, and then I'd keep angling at an angle, and I'd backwards. And so if they try to run to get behind me, I'd run angled and grab it, and then I'd do a sudden rush and grab the guy and do that. I never got hurt after a while. So one day Matt came to pick me up from school, and I was fighting 5 guys in the front lawn, and I go, he goes, hey man, he goes, what was that about? And I go, oh, they do that every day. And he goes, what? And I go, hey, you've seen me, why didn't you come over and help me? He goes, you didn't need any help, I was watching you. You know, and because it's true though, I didn't get hit at all. You know,
Matt was taking bets.
But you know what? It took an entire 6 months of getting attacked every day for me to get that way. They basically trained me to know how to handle it. But before that, I was getting kicked in the face. I was getting knocked on the ground and kicked in the ribs, stepped on my hands. You know, I remember I couldn't straighten my fingers out to draw because they hurt so bad. You know? So I was like, you know, when you're a little kid and you can't draw, that's like traumatic. I can't do anything.
Oh yeah. Alpha Photo says he loves the hatching brush, saves so much time. Yeah, I like it too, man. I just discovered some more brushes like that I use for scraping like gray tone and everything in the backgrounds. Because I was trying to do it by hand. not by hand, but if I use just a regular brush, and I realized this brush is pre-made for this stuff.
This Amy Lester keeps cracking me up with these faces she puts. She put like this really big black eyes, like with her brows. Those emojis are hilarious.
Yeah, because they give us some brutal stories. Sorry, Amy.
Well, I think every guy's gotten into fights, though. You know.
Yeah.
I haven't been in a fight since I was 9, maybe 10.
Really?
Yeah. I just I
it's
avoid
been
it.
a long time for me. My last one was where it was a bad one. I think I was 22. But,
Last week.
But it was well, it was right. You know. Yeah, it was. After my mom died, I wasn't.
Yeah.
And some guy tried to start something, and I wasn't good mentally.
This is for mom. Bam, 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 bam.
It's like you made my mom cry.
No, your sorry thing is she put a sorry with a sweat thing.
Yeah,
I'm not getting offended. I just think it's funny. These stories to me are funny now. They're funny anecdotes. They're not like there's no trauma. You know, when people go, I was traumatized. I go, people did a lot of crap. Matt he didn't get in fights, but he had people throw rocks at him, try to stone him at the freaking bus stop. Like,
right. Yeah.
And, I mean, he had a lot of stuff. I got left off of National Honor Society, which kind of depressed me because the lady was racist. I only figured that out years later when I got older. I was like, wait a minute, everybody she pulled aside that she wasn't going to put on National Honor Society was either like me, Mexican, Hispanic, there was a Korean kid, there was a black kid, and 2 Native American girls.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that funny? And yet, at the time, I had a straight A average. After that, I just felt like, what's the point, man? You know? Yeah. You're like, she said I had an attitude problem, and I'm like, it was the first time I met the lady, too. And I was like, wait, I don't even know you. How am I... You're getting left off because you all have attitude problems. What?
Yeah,
and I was like, I know nobody talks because people are ashamed when they get their butt kicked. No, at the time I hadn't done anything at that.
No, we just were new to the school, basically.
I was new, so I was like, what is going on here? Yeah. Then the teachers picked on me a lot. Like, they didn't like how I looked, so they pick on me. Oh. And they let me know, I don't like your hair. And then it was a private school, so you couldn't have your hair over touching your collar. But the funny thing is me and Matt both have really low hairlines on the back of our neck. Oh. So I'm like, I would have to shave it past my ears for it not to touch the collar.
Yeah.
I don't have a super long neck and my hairline's super low. So I was like, they were always constantly messing with me. And I was like, and I wasn't used to it because I was like, that was more traumatic to me because I was like, you're adults, and I was taught to respect adults. Right. And I'm a kid, and I'm like, I'm being treated like crap, and I don't get it. Yeah. And
that's never good.
Yeah, that's when that stuff bothers you. Even when you get older, I'm like, oh man, if I have a kid, I better make sure that I can watch after him. Yeah, you have to because teachers have treated me poorly as well in the past, mainly in middle school, and it's it's like it kills your desire to learn. Yeah. So that's what happened to me. But I was always good at, like, people would get mad at me in my class that were like book nerds. They would because I love to read, but I didn't like to read any of the school books. So if the teacher was really good at covering everything in the class that was on the test, I wouldn't even crack any books, and I would get 100%. Yeah. So if they were talking in the class, I just listened because I like stories, and then I'd get 100%. And these people would stay up all night. Amy Lester's hilarious. She goes, the other day I was leaving the gas station with a soda, and 3 guys were trying to figure out how to hold the door for me at the same time. That's about as close as I get to a fight story. They were all very nice. Oh man.
Amy's hard knock life.
It must be hard being pretty and sweet, huh?
Yeah.
She goes, you don't know the half of it.
Oh, that's funny.
My own mom told me, Mike,
I had 5 dates this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's tough to decide which boy to go out with.
My mom even told me, because I don't know what it is about you, Mikey, but people just want to push your face in.
Oh, sheesh.
Then she told me that as a kid, and I was like, I did say, yeah, thanks, mom. Yeah.
So, I'll say I should
Virtual hug.
end the stream because it's already been going now for a good 2 hours, I think.
2.5 hours.
Yeah. So
Next
So they
time
can
I'll
see I
share
got
my screen.
Okay,
Huh?
cool.
Next time I'll share my screen. I didn't have anything hooked up right now.
okay, yeah, next time.
Yeah, I want to see what you're working on, Mike.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff.
Here, I'll show
Hey, Mikey,
Yeah?
who's a better artist, you or Matt?
this.
See, personally, I like my stuff better,
Aha,
but
so yeah, do it.
that's my opinion of what I'm going for. Is what I like, you know.
Well, you have to let us be the judge.
But I gotta say, I love Matt's stuff.
Yeah, he's okay.
I like it more now
I've seen
this
worse.
past year than I like this stuff for the past decade. So I think this stuff is more in the direction of stuff I like now.
Yeah,
I like Mike's stuff too.
he's basically saying your stuff's not nearly as bad as it used to be, Mike.
Yeah, that's a compliment.
Yeah.
That's a compliment from my brother.
Well, this is how I always look at stuff. Would I buy it if I didn't know the person? And,
Right.
And that's how I try to treat my stuff. Would I buy this? And
Yeah.
I would buy like a book drawn like this. Like this
Yeah,
cat.
no, Matt, I love Matt's stuff. It's fantastic. So.
But in the past, I would have had to really hold it in my hand and weigh it and think about it.
Can I use this $1.50 in some better way than buying
Yeah.
this?
Like, yep.
So here, see, I'm trying to play around with some of the colors.
Yeah.
See, I can make it my own anime character that's based off of Catwoman, but not Catwoman.
Right, exactly. She's a completely different character. Look, she's brown instead of purple.
You can
Yeah,
put
we can
make her orange with tiger stripes on it.
there you go.
Perfect.
But you should get going because you keep saying that.
Yeah.
Amy said your Catwoman came out really pretty, man.
Oh, thank you, Amy. Yeah, see, it was fun. I didn't know what to do, and then I just started drawing, and okay, I'll just do this. So this will be something I'll post up.
Yeah, very nice.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Jason, Mike, for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
That was fun. Time went by quick when you guys come on. And so hopefully everyone else had some good stories to listen to. AB's like, oh, that's funny.
I'm gonna have nightmares tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mikey.
Hey, my nose is all healed. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good now.
No scars on that. Yeah, we're good.
But I was saying, you guys can, if anybody watches this video later who doesn't already know, I have the links to Jason and I think to Mike on the description, so you can see like their YouTube and I think maybe Instagram. I don't know. But you can always throw your Instagram in the comment sections. And but yeah, thanks guys for coming on. I'm gonna try to like do another one this week because I got to work on some other stuff.
Yeah,
And but we didn't do anything this last Wednesday on Mike's channel because I think he had his father-in-law's birthday or something like that going.
Yes, yeah, they were having some sort of celebration for his father-in-law.
Yeah. But you can go to his channel on Wednesdays and you'll see us on there once in a while drawing and talking. Shooting the Breeze. That's Blacklist Universe. That's also in the description, the link. So
Cool.
But thanks everybody for stopping by, and yeah, check out Jason's work, illustration by design, at Mikey, the original Mikey, on Instagram.
Yo, G Mikey.
Mikey.
Yeah, I'll have
So,
to
okay.
go subscribe here.
So we'll see you guys, and take
Yeah,
it easy.
so-
Thanks for stopping by. Bye, Amy, Lester,
Thank you.
Melissa, Armoron,
Yeah.
and Alpha Proto, and who else? I'm going to name some other people real quick. I know Jeff Potts was here, Rodwell, and who else we got? We got Tungsten. I missed Tungsten for some reason. And then
Doc
Junkyard
Savage,
Done. Junkyard Done. Man, it's been a while. Good to see you guys. Thanks for stopping by. You guys have a great night. Get some sleep.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you guys later.
Sleep well.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.